Ram truck yet at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. See our whole inventory at hobletdodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection, nobody beats Hoblet, period. 15,000 total net savings after 10,500 factory rebates and 4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 3,000 in Hoblet Select inventory coupons and 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistant coupons. Must have qualifying trade-in. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons only available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Feeding your passion for local sports in the afternoon. It's the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper on your radio at 1140 a.m.
Streaming audio at SactownSports.com and the Sactown Sports app.
You can also watch the show on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140. Here are the Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Kyle Draper.
Well, I don't want to disappoint you. Drape's not with us today. He's on assignment. He's doing a college football game tomorrow, right, Jay?
Yeah, he's doing the New York City Classic between Howard University and Morehouse College, HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know.
So we thought, well, no Drapes, we might as well shut it down. And then Jay had a bolt of inspiration. He said, let's get somebody good to fill in. And we weren't able to do that. But what we did do is...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What?
I kind of knew where that was going, so thank you for going down that road. No,
Jay has been asking for us to have the Phantom on, and I know he did a guest spot with me weeks ago when Jay wasn't here. But ladies and gentlemen, he's back. 1140, Sactown Sports now. The Phantom.
Thank you, and thank you for that welcome from Jay.
Yeah.
I met him coming in. He says, I'm sorry I can't talk to you. I got to get something to eat. So that was a great start, I thought. Yeah.
Here's a true story, Jay.
Yes, sir.
Apparently, Phantom, he comes in and just a little bit ago, and he's like, what are we talking about? I tried to get an idea of what we were going to talk about today, but what happened?
Well, I thought I'd find out what was trending on the station, so I listened to the morning show.
Yeah.
And so I have no idea what's going on. I don't know what I couldn't do any research or anything.
You didn't know what they were talking about.
I'm just all confused. I don't know what they're talking about.
Wow, that happens.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing my due diligence, but it turned out I turned to the wrong show. I should have checked these guys out that we just said goodbye to.
Yeah.
They're excellent.
They are. Yeah. Stiles and Watkins. You've actually been part of at least 2 morning shows on this station.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now you're a Beaver.
Now I'm yes, this delights Jay to no end. I'm the voice of the Beavers, American River College.
Come on now.
Yeah, Drapes is doing football. I'm doing football tomorrow. I'm here.
Really?
American River hosting Diablo Valley.
Ooh, DVC.
The Vikings are in town.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, those two get together, huh?
You could throw out the record books because I don't think they exist.
I don't think they have.
No, they don't have any record books. Not in community college, no. You can go on the website, but you really won't find much.
And what is the hat?
The Beaver hat.
Buccaneers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of NFL.
Okay.
It was either this or the Rams are the only 2 hats I have in stock, so I went with the Buccaneers.
But it does match the shirt, like Jay said. It's
obviously, as you know,
I thought it's got to be a beaver hat, but it's like a pirate ship, so I didn't quite see that.
Pirate ship, beavers. Make the connection, please.
Okay. All right.
I like it's white, though. It's a solid little white piece.
Very nice.
It is a solid little white piece, yes.
Yeah. You need anything? You good?
Right now, I'm okay, yeah.
Okay.
The legendary
direction would be nice, yeah.
Legendary fan. By the way, Jay started a movement to get you on our panel of people who selecting our 40 greatest Kings.
Oh, man, don't go down this road.
Kind of fell. He asked me, and I said, well, that's great, but I don't want to be viewed as, any kind of guilty of nepotism and then things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what happened from there, but that's your guy right there. Jay wanted you on the show.
I know.
Jay wanted you on the panel.
Jay a lot.
And I was like, yeah, all right. So
yeah, I got nothing else going on. Well, I have some credentials, season ticket holder, original season ticket holder.
King season ticket
Worked
holder.
For the voice of the home of the Kings for a dozen years or so.
That's
so
right.
I
That's
know
right.
a little bit of experience with the franchise.
Yeah.
Forgotten most of it, but still.
Have you had the opportunity to see the list?
I've seen
Yeah.
seen parts of it. Very impressed by it. I'm
Okay.
glad you included some of the oldsters.
Yeah.
Some
See,
of
now
my
that-
guys.
I don't know if it's true, but some say the reason you weren't on the panel is because it would have been like everybody from
Yes,
1985 through
absolutely.
1988. That would have
Was
been your
LaSalle
whole four.
Thompson number 2? He is on my
He might
list.
have had a 2 in there, but I'm not sure it was just.
The only guy I would have left out was Presley, obviously.
Yeah,
Everybody
sure.
else I would have put in. Presley, I kind of blacked that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tank, I think, I know we had him. Was he
Yes.
honorable mention or did he make a squad
Let
at
me
some
triple
point?
check that for you real
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
We have to, first of all, we have to give Phantom the entire list. If he's only seen parts and bits of it,
Mhm.
somewhere along the line today, Mr. Gleason, we have to reveal the 40 for him
Yes.
to say yay, nay, maybe so. Nah,
Right.
get that guy out of here. Much respect for that guy. So I'm gonna let me find the 40 list for you real quick, and I'll send it to you, Whitey, and maybe we can send it to Phantom or
Yeah.
have a
Yeah, I-
discussion about it.
Send it to me. What I don't understand what you
He
speak
needs
of.
it written down
Yeah.
and then
Can you handwrite it out for me?
You want
Type it
faxed?
out?
Yeah.
Can we fax it?
No, I don't think so. My fax machine at home is not plugged in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you technologically challenged there, Phantom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I understand. It happens.
Yeah, I'm just glad I got this turned on over here.
Good work.
I know.
Yeah.
Lights up and everything.
Yeah, sure does. And we're just lit up to have you with us today.
That's not what I expected, but okay. It's a pleasure to be here and to meet Jay, obviously.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
How about the situation with Christian McCaffrey? Now, here's the latest on Christian McCaffrey.
Tom
Before we get any
Pelissero.
further, we're going to have a lot of fun today with Phantom,
Uh-oh.
but we got to talk about what the heck's going on. And today, Christian McCaffrey, not present for the open portion of Friday's practice. All the other injured 49ers were present. So you got some from Tom Pelissero?
Yeah, Tom Pelissero just tweeted out.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let me triple check it. As I was talking to our 49er insider, Emil Fergoso,
Mm-hmm.
just a minute ago here, and he was giving me, I want to get the proper terminology Tom used, because
Right.
you got to, sometimes it's not about being first. It's about making sure that we're on point, Whitey. How
Yeah.
many times have we talked about that, right?
Right.
That's
So-
right.
That's
yeah.
old school, right?
Yes, sir, it is. That's
Totally.
that's from the book of the Rise Guys. I paid
Got to be
attention.
right. It doesn't matter how early you are if
So-
you're wrong.
Tom has Christian McCaffrey is out Sunday at Minnesota. Kyle Shanahan said today, just spoke about it. He also says the 49ers are now considering placing Christian McCaffrey on the IR reserve list, which would sideline him this week plus 3 more games.
Mhm.
So they could not retro to week 1. It would actually, start today. So he would be out through week 5.
Yeah, I think we've been getting played a little bit, but I think this is where it was headed. So, maybe they've just been overly optimistic, but they're going to have to shut him down for a while.
Well, maybe the fact that they triumphed so easily in that game 1.
Triumph so easily.
Yeah,
Look at that.
I
The
put that in
wordsmith.
there. Yeah. I took some vocabulary classes. I learned that on the morning show.
Fresh out the
I was
Britannica.
supposed to say they kicked the Jets' ass, but then
They triumphed.
rather easily.
They did. They
Yeah, you're
sailed.
right.
They sailed through that matchup.
Yes.
So maybe that has something to do with it. Mason obviously very effective, and if you can afford to hold the guy out and get him, 100%, then obviously that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I'm just a little confused because, like I said earlier, I'm not a doctor, but Mom used to work at the hospital, as you well know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but she wasn't really a doctor. I mean,
She's a
she
lab
worked in the
technician
hospital.
and a darn
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah,
That
she
works.
was an
That's
excellent
it.
lab
Yeah.
technician. They never let them operate, though.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So
She used to bring blood home to feed to her African violets.
I do know that.
What?
Yes.
The violets grew very well too.
The plants
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah,
But they would do tests. This is a long time ago, obviously. You don't
really
you
do
think
that
about
much
that now.
anymore. No.
Every time I get my blood drawn, I tell them, what my mom used to do, and they look at me like, what? Yeah, I can't
She-
even talk to you.
She did you wrong a couple of times, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
as we go.
But anyway, we have some medical knowledge in tendonitis in the Achilles. I know I have limited knowledge. I don't think it's the type of thing where it's, it was hurting him yesterday, but he's good today and he's going to play. So,
It's just a rest thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and rest means not 2 days. It usually means 2 weeks or 3
Sure.
weeks. And
Yeah.
then once you get on it again, it could happen again the next week.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that Kyle Shanahan now talking openly about the IR, because I think it was just yesterday he said, no, we're not even thinking about that.
Mm.
Lynch today on his radio spot in the Bay Area said, hey, if that's the best thing, we'll do it. And now Shanahan says, yeah, we might do it. So I think that's where we're headed.
And it sounds like you think that's what they were going to do all along.
Yeah.
So.
And you've kind of talked about it, Phantom. Of course, I know you're busy as a Beaver, so I know you're not as.
He's had a lot of injuries too.
Yes, that's true. Many unreported.
Achilles tendonitis.
I've medicated a lot of them though.
How's that Achilles holding up now?
Well, I don't know. One of them's okay.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So you know the pain. You can speak to it.
That's why the good Lord gave you two.
That's right. He did. Yeah.
I will say it is something that Shanahan does. He keeps it close to the vest, right? And then almost to the point you and Drake talked about a little earlier this week, Whitey, to the point that sometimes it can get a little slick. It can get a little behind the glass, so to say, because in retrospect, when you really look at it, I think CMC was going to be on the IR for the first 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 or whatever they're going to do. You talked about it. I don't think he is fully healthy. And this is one of those injuries where, remember 2 weeks ago, he said, I tweaked it a little bit. Then we heard this past week, he tweaked it again. Well, you keep tweaking it. That means there's an injury there.
Mm-hmm.
So we might as well just go ahead and say you're going to sit out. But the 49ers do a great job. And I put it in air quotes because they're really pulling the wool over people's eyes.
Yeah.
CMC was never going to play.
I agree. Yeah. Jay's a big Niner fan.
Well, it sounds
Unlike
like he's
the guy who normally sits
He's
there.
accusing them of some chicanery, it sounds like there.
Gamesmanship.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, I know
absolutely.
you want to make them prepare as if McCaffrey's going to play, but it's not like a quarterback. It's not like you're preparing for a quarterback and he's not playing. It's a running back, and obviously Mason fills in the best he can. It's not the same, but I don't think the discrepancy is as much as if you're saying, well, our quarterback's going to definitely play, and they have to prepare for him, and then it turns out he doesn't.
True, but McCaffrey's unlike any other whatever he is.
Well, Lenny Moore obviously was like that, but other than that, yeah.
That goes back a ways, right?
A little bit. No, Baltimore Colts. I mean, come on. A great player, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we're going to take a quick time out, come back, take a look at what happened last night as far as the Tua debate. There really is no debate, is there? Antonio Pierce weighed in on that today. Tell you what he said when we come right back. Phantoms in today. It's the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
I've always believed that golf is more than just a game. It embodies integrity, commitment, and a sense of style. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa, and I'd like to tell you a bit about Naturewood Home Furnishings, a business that shares these same values. With the Procore Championship Professional Golf Tournament happening at the stunning Silverado Resort in Napa, I couldn't help but notice the parallels. Just like the game of golf, Naturewood has built its reputation on integrity, commitment, and timeless style. Looking to bring a unique style into your home? Naturewood offers custom certified designers who can help you craft the perfect look tailored just for you. And while you're enjoying the elegance of the tournament this week, along with Napa's world-class wine and food, be sure to visit Naturewood Home Furnishings. You'll discover pieces with the same sophistication and quality as the game itself. Who knows? You might even find an heirloom that will be passed down for generations. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Just look for the water wheel.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
How about the love for Phantom? Phantom in today. Drape's back with us. Actually, I think he's off next week, too, isn't he?
Wow. I think it's a couple days.
Yeah, some time off. He's doing a football game tomorrow, but Phantom says he's doing a football game tomorrow, and he's still here.
I'm here next week, too.
Yeah. How about that? How about that? Yeah. On the chat here, Curtis Hicks, Whitey and the Phantom. Compio says, Whitey, Phantom, JJ. Phantom is the MVP, says Compio.
So far, I think so, yeah.
Compio
Jay's
also
making a strong effort.
Yeah. Compio also says KHTK must come with some bags of money to get Phantom on a Friday afternoon.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
I do have beaver money, so, I mean, I'm doing okay.
You got beaver bucks?
I got beaver bucks, so I'm doing okay. But I appreciate
Piling
that.
up that dam.
The old school crew is back together. Whitey and Phantom, thank you. So lots of kind words here. Appreciate that. Must make you feel good if you feel anything anymore.
Let's check it after 2:30 and see what it looks like.
That's why I got it in now.
Yeah. What do you mean? Must make you feel good because you don't feel anything anymore? Is that what you said?
Maybe.
Yeah. You're right, but I didn't want to admit it.
Coming up, bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to Maury Brown from Forbes, and he's a member of the Baseball Writers Association of America. Going to get the latest from Maury on what the heck's going on with the Sacramento A's. Phantom, can you believe we're this close to the Sacramento A's?
I can't believe we're this close, but I also can't believe that we're this far away in a sense. I mean, nobody knows how many years they're going to be here, and now there's all the thing about the playoffs and, you know, you got to buy 3 years of tickets, but they say, oh, we'll definitely be there in 2025. But that's all you. So, yeah, it's an unsettled situation.
It certainly is. I think it's going to be that way for a while. But here it is.
Agree.
It's
prickly.
More real than it's ever been.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. But, I mean, it's still a lot of pushback, it seems like, from Players Association. And then, you know, Scott Boras and there's all kinds of different people weighing in from different directions as far as, you know, what they can and can't do.
You want to hear my theory?
I do.
My theory is that, you know, Oakland, obviously, we're kind of poaching their team, so you can't blame them for fighting for it. It's just curious to me that we're hearing so much this week. It's almost like there is a concerted effort to publicize some of the drawbacks of this plan. You know, and you got agents, couple agents coming out, and you know, Scott Boras is a super agent, and he's local, and he's very capable, obviously. But some of the agents saying the same thing about, hey, you know, there's new owners in Oakland. They're going to take over. Maybe the team would go there, and it's like. The comments are so similar. I'm starting to think that there's a concerted effort to keep this thing from getting off the ground in Sacramento because some people are still trying to get it back to Oakland before it actually leaves.
Yeah, absolutely. It just seems like
it's a conspiracy is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. It is a conspiracy, but it's just like a movement, shall I say, to try to keep the team. Absolutely. Which is what we did when they were trying to take our team.
I know.
So
that's what you're supposed to do, I guess.
I think you can't blame them. Yeah. It's just that there's so much on the surface of, you know, the A's moving to Sacramento, playing in that place and everything, that's just so much that you can take issue with. Except, you know, and you go, well, 14,000, you know, capacity. That's great, and they'll fill it out every night, but it could, you know, they could fill twice that. They could fill maybe 3 times that every night. It's just, you know, it just seems like a minor league trying to move up to the majors, and, you know, there's growing pains.
Yeah, just be careful because Jay, obviously, the unofficial mayor of the city of Trees.
Oh, is he?
He then take kindly to criticism of Sacramento's efforts to land the A's.
Okay, I understand.
Fair enough.
Thanks for letting me know.
Absolutely fair. Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get on his bad side, so thanks for letting me know.
And vice versa, there, Phantom.
Would have been a nice heads up before we came in here.
Put it down. You know, it's interesting, Phantom and Whitey. 14,000 would almost outsource the crowd that's going on in Oakland, right? Every single night, which is, I hate to say it like that as an A's fan. It's just, it is almost paltry to the point to where it is a struggle. It is a huge struggle to get people in, and 14,000 is at least probably guaranteed for the Oakland A's. Now, I'm not saying that's a huge number, but it's more than what they're getting right now. And so the one thing you never want to do is count the money that you don't know is coming in, right? When you kind of go down the wrong path when you start to count money that you do not have, but you think is coming in.
Learned that the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure you could school me in that once or twice. And so I just think the A's in this point, and when I say the A's, I'm really talking about John Fisher. I think John Fisher is just trying to get something that is a given more than a crapshoot every single night. With the understanding that the casino is also letting them come in with a big credit line, and that's what Sacramento is doing. And so who wouldn't want to? Who wouldn't want to play with your money more or less than my own money? And I think that's where the A's are at.
Yeah, Maury Brown, bottom of the hour with more on that. So we're looking forward to that. Now, as far as last night goes, how would you say it, Phantom? Buffalo triumphed by a comfortable margin?
I think triumphed easily. We'll say it there. Yeah,
triumphed easily.
Triumphed easily. An easy triumph.
Yes. Yeah. But one of the stories today, of course, is Tua with another concussion. I mean, that alone, another concussion, no matter who it is, you got to stop for a minute and go, hey, maybe he should rethink this whole thing. There's no way he should continue playing, right?
You don't see too much in the sports world where everyone is on one side of any argument because sports is contentious. Everyone is on the same side of this argument.
Yeah.
Everyone I've heard or, watch or anything, it's just
hard to reasonably oppose the view that he probably should step away.
Not only the number, but we've seen them all. It's not like it's not like he's had all these concussions. Yeah, I saw them on TV. I saw what happened to him in those situations. At that time, sitting there and saying he should not come back, but he did. And now I seeing the one last night is just, I mean, not only the number, but we have seen them, we witnessed them.
And the offender's pose thing, which is just.
And everybody just wants the best for him. And, it's like, oh, he's made enough money. And that's not even the point, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that, what is he, 26 years old? And he's had 3 concussions that we know of in 2 years. So, definitely, I think everyone's on the same side in this one. And, it's sad. It's sad, obviously, because, he has a lot of promise and everything.
Talented player.
And if you're going on the,
he's got some Phantom money.
Yes, sir.
He's got a little bit of, bags of money. I have bags of money, but I mean, it's sad putting him aside for Miami, who had obviously high hopes for this season. And, you've taken all the weapons they have and then taken all the teeth out of them, because without him, running the show, I don't think that anybody else is going to benefit.
Here's what Raider coach Antonio Pierce had to say about Tua's situation today.
I'll be honest, I'll just tell him to retire. It's not worth it. It's not worth to play the game. I haven't witnessed anything like I've seen that's happened to him 3 times. Scary. You can see right away the players' faces on the field. You can see the sense of urgency from everybody to get Tua help. I just think at some point, he's going to live longer and he's going to play football. Take care of your family.
Antonio Pierce. By the way, last night, Mike McDaniel was asked, is it safe for him to play football? And he just didn't want to get into it. And basically he said, I'm not qualified to answer that. But it's not really safe for anyone to play football, right?
No,
especially someone who's had multiple concussions.
What a tough question for the coach. He just saw his quarterback go down. Obviously, he has a lot of affection for the guy. He gave him a kiss on the head when he came off. And is it safe for him to play? I'm a football coach. I mean, come on, that's a tough question to go after. But
morons.
If you want to go that far, Jay, I mean, I bow to you, sir. But I mean, it's not safe. They've made it safer and made it safer. But once you go down, and I know there are histories of players from bygone days who've had 8 concussions and 10 concussions. Once you put a couple of them in a short span of time there, I think it's an inevitability. And maybe it's best that he got it now rather than kept going. It could be more serious coming forward. I just think he is, if you're saying that the universe is sending you a warning, that's about the biggest red flag you can ever get.
Please go ahead.
I was just going to say, the thing we don't know is how much damage has already been done.
Yeah. For what everybody says, it's cumulative.
Down the road, and there's just no way of knowing.
I was going to say, as all 3 former athletes here, we want to play to the end. At least I know, and maybe I'm speaking for both of you guys. I hope I am, but I know I want to play to the end till someone almost pretty much said like, hey, listen, it's just not there. But I say that to say at the end of my career, I started to have feet issues and we couldn't figure out what it was. And I was super young. I was 25 years old or whatever it was. So it's like, hey, you know what? You might be right, because I don't want the cognitive. I don't want the things to consider, to keep compounding a snowball. And I'm not saying I'm Tua, but that's the tough part about it, is taking the fight it out in an athlete, fellas. You guys know that.
Right.
And so it's almost like, I don't know if someone's going to have to jump in there and protect him from himself, or is he going to come to fruition and say, maybe this isn't the best opportunity? And I'm not saying his career is over by all means. I'm not sure, as this is still fresh on our minds. But as I look at myself, I'm just like, man, I think I would want to try to play it out as long as possible. But it's got to be tough for Tua because of, the things that he has accomplished versus the things that he is going through medically too.
Yeah. One of the things that helps you accomplish things in sports, and I'm assuming, especially at a high level, you played on a much higher level. You guys both played at higher levels than I did. I'm assuming it's especially true at a high level, but it's being able to say, yes, I can do it when everyone says you can't. And now you got to it that he's still got that drive. Like, I know everyone says I can't. So it's difficult to make that separation of like, yeah, but this could be damaging me cognitively for the rest of my life.
It's not like Jay's foot. Okay, it's okay. I can push myself so I can do it. No, my foot won't take it. It's your brain, it's your head, and it's just the effects are more, I would say, more long lasting to your quality of life throughout the rest of your life. He's 26 years old. God willing, he's got 50 or 60 years to go, and he wants to have some quality in that life. He's got the phantom bags of money, so he's fine there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I hope he has a good support staff around. It sounds like Mike McDaniel has his best interest at heart, obviously. And hopefully he's got a good circle around him. And he hopefully, like to your guys' point, he'll listen to them at some point. But that, I don't think, is something that has to be done for quite some time. I think there's a, kind of like a settling down period that we're coming into right now as far as with him, because he's got to recover, obviously.
Yeah.
And like you say, we don't know the effect of just that one concussion from last night.
Why is it, putting all that aside, and that's more important than any of this, but putting that aside, why is it that a team like the Dolphins, and I'd also say Green Bay, because they got Malik Willis playing, why are so many NFL teams just unprepared for their quarterback going down? Or maybe I'm not giving Skylar Thompson enough credit.
No, did you watch last night after Tua got him down to the 6-yard line? Thompson said, okay, go in there and see what you can do. I can hand off. I can hand off to this guy that everybody knows is getting the ball 3 times in a row. It just,
and they knew that about him. So why? I mean, this is a team, like you said, a team with some postseason aspirations, and yet, especially when you've had a guy with multiple concussions, you're not prepared for him to maybe go down.
It seems like you'd upgrade the quality of your backup.
That's
when you
what
have
I'm
a guy
saying.
who's really at risk. But we joke about it, but if you're going to give the bags to Tyreek or the bags to somebody else, where's your bags left to give to a better backup? I heard Ryan Tannehill tossed around all the time, a guy like of that level, because that's a level at least one, maybe two above Skylar Thompson or Malik Willis or whoever else that we're going to see in action.
Your favorite backup, Josh Dobbs. Right now, if you're the 49ers, I might be dangling that carrot out there a little bit. As the commercials say, you got to be a little quicker than that. I need you to be a little quick here. And if the 49ers are, not here, I got my, as Drapes will say, I have my 49er shades on at this point looking through. But I talk about that throughout the whole NFL. There are some capable backups. And we've already seen them step in. 49ers will be facing one now. How about that?
Have 2 capable backups. And some of these teams don't have.
The 49ers do?
Yes.
Do you consider Brandon Allen a capable backup?
Yes.
Okay.
He's
I haven't seen enough.
More than 300 yards in an NFL game.
So that's capability.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're convincing me. Thank you.
Jay, what's the statute? How early can the Niners call the Dolphins? I mean, is there a protocol here? I mean, the guy just got a concussion.
Yeah.
What do you call him the next morning? Hey, I hear you're in the market. There's got to be some rules. Cool. Yeah, you got to. Well, no,
call you.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike. Hey, Mike. Sorry that you.
Well, this the other part is you have connections, you have relationships. If you're Shanahan, you're John Lynch, you send out that text, man, hoping all is well, hoping the fam is good, meaning the team, hoping your family is good. Call me if you need anything. You know what I mean?
The last, the last
put the wink emoji on there too.
Absolutely.
The shrug emoji.
Put the shrug. I don't know what you guys are going to do.
Well, there's one name that 49er fans are very familiar with that a lot of Dolphin fans are throwing around on Twitter. We'll get to that. But when we come back, Maury Brown, senior contributor at Forbes, he'll help us understand what the heck all this talk this week about the A's and their problems, what it means for the move to Sacramento. Next, We got Phantom in today. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Light winds expected and temperatures will peak today in the lower 90s. Expect overnight lows to drop back into the upper 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
The TaylorMade Tour Van is a one-stop shop for PGA Tour players to get their clubs to exact specifications. And now you can get the same experience at Hagen Oaks when the TaylorMade Tour Van brings their fitting skills to you. On September 20th and 21st, you can be fitted at Hagen Oaks and have your clubs built by the TaylorMade Tour Van. A $25 fitting fee is refundable with any club purchase. Whether you're interested in the QI-10 or P770, call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 to reserve your spot. It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Sacramento, Dierks Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Part 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
Close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Insurance companies perform a very valuable service, but they want to keep their money. Although most cases settle before trial, it is paramount that the insurance companies know that if pressed, your legal team has the experience to take your case all the way. For 25 years, Ashton & Price has earned the reputation that if the insurance company isn't fair, we're ready to force them to be fair. My mom used to warn me, wait till dad gets home. Think of us as dad. The best part, there's no fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been? I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
One for me, you're the only one I need. Can nobody make me feel
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Draper is not with us today. He's doing a football game tomorrow, so he's taking some time to prepare for that. So we've got this guy came in, Phantom. Yeah. Great to have you with us today.
I was over at Cal Expo anyway, so it's easy. You gave me a call and I was right over there, so I could make it over. Yeah.
Phantom now is the voice of the Beavers, the voice of the Potters.
That's right, voice of the Potters. That's 7 years, voice of the Potters.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you have a team and you're looking for a voice,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, bags of money. Obviously, you're going to Phantom bags.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah. Now, I remember you telling me about Sacramento's March on Baseball years ago, where a bunch of people got on a buses from here, because there was a lot of people drove down to watch an A's
and Yankees. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be a showing of how much.
It was a show of support. We had many, many people, and I remember it mostly because I was the furthest away from home plate of anybody. I was just way out in left field where they had a little section that jutted out from the foul line into the middle, and I was on the edge of the seat right there. So yeah, I was supporting, but we had many buses, not just a couple. We had many buses of people.
Yeah, that was probably 80 something. I think
that was early 80s.
Yeah. And here we are getting ready for the A's to move here, or are they? Lots of confusion. Nice enough to help us sort it out. He helped me out yesterday on Twitter. Senior contributor at Forbes, member of the Baseball Writers Association of America, writes about the business of sports and baseball, among other things. Maury Brown. Maury, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good, and thanks for coming on. You may remember, if you're not familiar with Maury, and you should be, but if you're not, we talked with Maury in March about the amazing piece he wrote about Dave Kaval and what Maury called Dave Kaval's delusions of grandeur. So thanks for helping us out here, Maury. Scott Boras says the Players Association is concerned and hasn't approved the move to SAC. MLB came out, as you know, and said, it's a certainty the A's will be here. Do you know, does MLB need the Players Association's approval to actually move the team here?
No, they don't.
Okay.
I mean, it would have to be something like extraordinary, right? Hey, we're going to move to, I don't know, we're going to move to put a team in South America or something where travel would be, too much or something to that effect, right? But in this instance, no, they don't. They can certainly look to certain issues that they feel will affect the players and ask for those things to be addressed. But the actual relocation itself, no, they don't.
Yeah. Or if it was something that the union could say, that's actually dangerous, right? I mean, something extreme geographically or in terms of player safety.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and there's been some conversation around the gray area about the playing surface, right? But I don't think that's going to fly. That's not going to be enough to stop this.
Yeah.
Maury, it seems like it's on again, off again. We've heard that they haven't signed on officially. Have you gotten any word that the Players Association has not put pen to paper?
No, but at this point, I don't think that you're going to have something officially signed in this regard, right? I mean, again, it'll be one of those situations where it's a negotiation. They'll say, okay, you want to do these things. All right, you've got to have an ability for us to go ahead and train. And, you've got to have places to go ahead and do batting practice. You've got to have, bullpens. I mean, there are a number of things to try and get an MLB ready, quote unquote, that they'll go ahead and those things have to be basically negotiated. Have they signed off yet? No, I don't think it's 100% there. And it's possible that they could negotiate right up until, games are actually played there. So, again, it's a negotiation type of thing that you go back and forth on. I used a bad analogy yesterday on Twitter. Somebody says, the players say, we want all brown M&Ms. And the player or the league will come back and go, well, how about if we just give you M&Ms, period?
Yeah.
So that's the bad analogy, right? They'll negotiate stuff that's there within the confines of what the facility is, which, of course, is not Major League Baseball. It's a minor league ballpark.
Mm-hmm. A lot of things involved in this discussion are, true, false, or factual. I'm going to ask you one that really has more to do with opinion. Scott Boras said, and Scott Boras is local. He's from Elk Grove. He said he thinks it's going to be difficult for Sacramento to show MLB how good the city would be for baseball long-term when the games are kind of shoehorned into this minor league facility. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think, Scott, I think is probably coming from the perspective of the players. Would any players want to go and sign in free agency and go play in a minor league ballpark? I'm sure that would be a challenge, right? I've always said this in general, right? What you're really trying to do is show future capability for any particular market, right? So you're not going to really find out how it's going to be until it's there. You can make some assumptions that, it's a large growing market. You're going to look how things are in terms of how sponsorships are. It's difficult because both, you've got both the minor league club and a major league club sharing the facility, right? That's going to be a little bit different. But overall, I don't know if it precludes any of that sort of thing. If you have an opportunity to show yourself and find out how it's going to be responded to, then that's something that you come back later. Nobody's going to be playing in a minor league ballpark if somehow, some way, there's a discussion about expansion or relocation to Sacramento. It would be, hey, cough up a really nice ballpark, and then we can have that discussion.
Joined by Maury Brown. Maury, remind me if I'm correct. Last time we had you on, I think the last statement you made on this show was baseball's moving toward expansion in 2030. And correct me if I'm wrong on that year. with that being said, we've heard to Portland where you're up that way northwest. We know Nashville's in the mode. Obviously, Las Vegas is sitting there. We've heard a little bit of Louisville. Where would Sacramento play a part in this, in your mind? Let's just say if they were to sell out 14,000 for the first year and be successful.
Well, the first thing that would happen would be a discussion about how the market would be impacted by where the teams are at currently, right? So let's just move forward and let's say somehow John Fisher absolutely gets it figured out, which, of course, that's another story for another day. But they wind up in Vegas, right? And the Giants are in San Francisco. There would be, how would the media market be in a situation like that? But that's a conversation you're going to have everywhere. I mean, there's just no place in the country that isn't touched by one or more clubs. So, again, I think there's no way that you don't have Sacramento in that conversation. If somebody steps forward and says, hey, we want to be involved in this expansion conversation, you've got the political, civic component, you've got private investors, and there's somebody that says we're going to make this thing happen. When expansion does happen, I think that there'll be markets that open up. But the one right now, and this is going to probably be maybe surprising to some of the listeners, I would say that Salt Lake City right now in the West probably leads the way. And that's because you had the former owner of the Jazz involved with it and a bunch of people on the political side. They're making a lot of noise, and the league has taken notice of that.
Wow, there was talk of the A's moving there temporarily before they decided on here. Yeah, Maury Brown with us from Forbes. We may have a little bit of a scoop for you, Maury, because I don't think this has been reported, but Kyle Draper mentioned it on our show yesterday. Our understanding is there could be as few as 4 day games scheduled in Sacramento next season. That's not official, but that's what we're hearing. To what extent would that alleviate these concerns about the heat and the hot turf, in your opinion?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think that was done for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, for that reason, look, I grew up in the Bay Area. I used to be involved in stuff that happened in Sacramento quite a bit. I know how warm it can be. So yeah, I'm sure that was exactly what came into play. And again, while Scott Boras said it, I'm sure that others felt probably the same way, that there are concerns about certain aspects of it. If you're going to alleviate that, that's certainly one way to do it. So, again, it's not surprising, I would say. Again, this negotiation between the Players Association and figuring out ways to creatively address what they're seeking, those things are going to happen. And I would say that would probably continue on until, opening day next year.
Maury, you're one of the guys that I truly trust when it comes to having your finger on the pulse. And I don't want to put you back yourself into a corner because I'm pretty sure I know where you're going. No one can predict what John Fisher is going to do or what he may even be thinking he's going to do. With all that being said, when it's all said and done, in finality, does John Fisher keep this team within the next 5 years in your mind?
Yeah, I'm not going to back myself into a corner on this because I can't. Who knows? Who knows? I think that there's probably an ability, right? I have always said that there's so much about what's going on with the A's that remind me what happened with the then Florida Marlins when they moved to Miami. So the owner then, Jeffrey Loria, they finally get a ballpark built in Miami, largely done with public money. It took forever to get him to get it done. He stuck around for a few years and then sold.
He did, yeah.
And I think that would largely probably be how this plays out. Again, it could be internal. I mean, there's been so much discussion about, hey, if you want to be an investor, we're open. We have open doors, right? So, I mean, who invests a lot of money in what I see as a distressed property, right? I mean, the A's there's nothing really great to talk about right now. They're certainly not the Yankees, right?
Right.
So you sit there and you go, okay, I'll do that, but we have some kind of internal agreement that at this particular point, I can start buying out a larger percentage of the club, and then eventually I own it. And that's happened across multiple sports and certainly within baseball. So it's not out of the realm of possibility.
More, you being a business guy, what do you think, and I know I'm putting backing you into a corner. What do you think the A's are at value right now?
In terms of their net value, about what they were, their valuation?
Exactly.
They're going to be, I'd say that they're probably in the $2 billion range, somewhere around that. I haven't looked recently, But, again, a lot of this shifts. The value of the club is going to go up and down based upon debt, right? Which there's a huge amount of debt involved in this thing, right, to get the ballpark built. And then, of course, what the value of the club is when they move outside of Oakland. And I think that there is some component to Las Vegas that has some intrinsic value. I will say this repeatedly. There's a lot of problems with Vegas, a ton of them. They're media market for one. But the one thing they're going to make a bunch of hay on is in the sponsorship space. I mean, they're just going to make a ton of money and be able to host stuff that other clubs might not have the opportunity to because it's Las Vegas. So the value of the club, I think, goes up. And in that regard, again, that's part of the reason I think that they're, looking at where they're at. I thought it was bad. I still think it's bad. They should have tried to make it happen in Oakland. But again, this is how this thing's gone, and it's, of course, not gone well.
Follow him on Twitter at BizBallMaury. Maury, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend. We hope to talk to you again soon.
All right. You guys take care.
Take it easy. Maury Brown from Forbes, member of the Baseball Writers Association of America. Speaking of baseball, when we come back, Phantom, a catcher's career is in jeopardy after he repeatedly told the other team what pitches were coming. I don't know. Yeah.
I see a few problems.
Two sides every story, right? So
see
let's
a couple,
find out.
Couple of pitfalls.
Find out what his story was when we come back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft in a breach or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room. And guess what? Primetime football is back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. As always, offering the best food, the best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. So check them out, Capital Casino, and always remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Silverado Savings Spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton High Country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters.
Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing and leasing. Some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Sponsored by Xfinity Internet. Enjoy ultimate control of your home network. Personalize your Wi-Fi name and password. Assign user profiles. View and control connected devices and more with the Xfinity Internet app.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real. And I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, thanks for being with us on this Friday. We got Phantom in today. We got Kyle Draper is out today, but look what we got. The Beaver, the voice of the Beavers.
Voice of the Beavers, voice of the Potters.
Yeah.
Former voice of the Hillman. And
Former
others.
voice of the
Former, you know.
What happened there?
Well, the voice kind of cracked.
Not doing that anymore.
Not anymore, no.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Jay, are you feeling better about the A's in Sacramento? You know, there's been a lot of tumult this week. Sounds like Maury Brown saying, you know, this is a negotiation. There's a lot of saber rattling, but they're going to be here next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think the timing just works for Sacramento to receive the A's at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Next year, I think 2025, they're pretty much locked in. Now, as I said, you just never know where John Fisher is, where he's thinking and where he's really going with this. But after that, it's a little funny because we've been told 3 years. You know, we, as Phantom talked about in the first segment, and we talked about on this show, part of my family talked about having to play 3 years at a certain price, at a certain level.
Yeah,
and for me to put out, you put out 3 years worth of money, and then all of a sudden you yank the last two on the back end. So basically, you're like a bank. You've been playing with my money.
Yeah, you'll get your money back.
Yeah, you'll get your money. And you know how it always goes, right? It's quick. They're quicker to want their money and a lot longer to give your money back, right? So yeah, I have no clue on what's going on, but I do think the A's will be here, albeit it won't be the Sacramento A's, it won't be the Oakland A's, they'll be the Athletics, the A's, right? You know, I don't know what they're going to be, but they'll be a team here.
We got another interesting baseball story to get to in just a moment, but first, I want to touch on this. You know, last night the Dolphins fell to the Bills. Tua got hurt, of course. Al Michaels is under fire these days. We've talked to Al Michaels, great guy, a legendary broadcaster. There's two things. If you're on X or Twitter during the, I don't care what you're on during the games, Phantom, but whatever you're on during the games, you notice there's a lot of people that are saying Al Michaels needs to get more excited. He just doesn't bring the energy anymore. I don't know whether that's true. He does seem to me. It's like he's like, I've done this. I'm not
kind of older now.
Yeah, but I think I was like, dude, it's the second game of the year, and Miami just scored a touchdown in the first quarter. That's nice, but I'm not going to go nuts.
It's 7-7. Yeah, early second quarter. Come on.
I've done the miracle on ice.
Yes.
All right? I know what excitement is.
That was 45 years ago.
Yeah, but he's also, seems like yesterday, though.
Oh, it certainly does.
He's also getting criticized for this after Tua went down last night in that collision with DeMar Hamlin. Al Michaels said a little irony there. He got hit by DeMar Hamlin. You know that history. And it just didn't really go over. A lot of people said that's not what irony is. Al Michaels do better. So. Al, it's time to hang it up. It just seemed a little bit to miss the mark, and I'm being charitable.
It seemed like you thought you needed to say something kind of clever there, and that's what
didn't really have anything clever to say.
And he just went the wrong way on it. And like you and I were talking about the fact that DeMar Hamlin was involved in the play, it was nice. I was worried at the beginning when you see the play in real time and then they're going to show you the replay and I see it's DeMar Hamlin. I said, I hope he doesn't lower his head or anything because I didn't know. And no, it was a totally above board tackle, almost surprising the way it had the effect it did because it seemed like he hit him in the arm and obviously it caused his head to snap back. But yeah, it was. I don't know if you can say nice, but I'm glad that DeMar Hamlin wouldn't be held responsible in any way, shape, or form for that play. But I just don't think that's what irony is.
I was surprised too, Jay. I was surprised that contact resulted in that severe of an injury.
Yeah, but that might tell, be the telltale sign for Tua, and we don't know that. And I think that's why we're hearing a lot of people come out today with the reaction of, maybe this young man, it's time of playing active football may, need to be processed and they need to be evaluated. So, can I ask you guys something? Because you guys are way more familiar.
How about you?
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, we're here. Why not?
And this is going to sound completely bad, so I'm trying to do what Al Michaels did not do last night and really talk through this, and be PC. Isn't there a point in time where you're just not getting the job done? And unfortunately, it could be your age. It could be some of the things that you just aren't quick as, you aren't quick enough. And it seemed to me like he tried, as Phantom said, tried to be clever and missed the mark. Mm-hmm. And with that, let me take it a step further. Sometimes, and you do a great job of this, Mr. Gleason, this is not a pat on your back, but this is the truth. You have to you have to reinvent yourself. And times are forever changing. And things are forever happening. Things that you could say 20 years ago, we know you can't say now, right? We know 10 years ago, there's certain things you can't call a person that you could get away with, see on national television. And with that being said, don't we have to start to evaluate some of these people who've been around for 40, 50 years? I'm not calling for them to lose their job. Yeah. I'm just saying, don't we need to start to evaluate them? And if not, bring them up to speed and ask them to reevaluate themselves or what they're doing?
Somebody does. And maybe we do that by way of fans, fans commenting like, hey, you're better than that.
Yeah,
what's wrong?
Exactly. Yeah, that was not what you wanted to say in that moment, but that doesn't mean he's lost it. I mean,
no, I'm not saying
Michaels,
that,
but I mean, if you see something like this happen more and more, you can probably point to something.
And like I said, he's a legend, and we all know that. But he's been very gracious when I've spoken to him. But he just seems like he doesn't care as much now. That's the thing. If you don't care, you shouldn't be doing it.
That's probably it's going to happen. But the thing that I don't know if it's ironic, but the thing that struck me also is the fact that they spent last year teaching Tua how to fall and how to do everything and slide and everything. And that he got through last year. I think he played every game last year and got through perfectly. Then this year he comes out in the second game. And I mean, for whatever else happened, that was not the movie. He should have slid. I know he wanted to get the first down in that situation. Mm-hmm. It was important, but he should have slid. If he would have slid properly, and he would have been okay. And that's, I mean, I don't know if it's irony or anything, but it just seems weird that they spent the whole season last season teaching him how to deal with this. They get through the season, and then the second game, this happens.
Real quick, because you guys are both real baseball guys, I want to see what you thought of this. I've never heard of this. Minnesota Twins releasing one of their 2024 draft picks, Derek Bender, after he apparently told opposing hitters what pitch was coming during a minor league game. He was selected he's a 6th rounder in July.
Whoa.
So he's playing for Fort Myers Mighty Muscles, Twins Low A affiliate before being let
Florida.
go. Yeah. And Fort Myers needed this win, I guess, to have a chance to extend their season. And they lost 6-0. And the team was informed after the game. The coaches, the other team told Fort Myers team, and the coach is like, your catcher was telling our hitters what pitches were coming.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You knew what pitches were coming. You scored 6 runs. I would fire the other team. Those guys aren't moving up. And I want to know how he was tipping. I want to curveball.
Yeah, I believe it was that. It wasn't
coming in.
Curveball.
Like, hey,
bro, fastball.
Yeah. And they got 6 runs.
But wouldn't the umpire have said something?
Maybe.
It's not his job.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
That's true. What is he supposed to go? Hey, you shouldn't tell him what pitch is coming?
Don't say that. Don't say
mind
that.
your own business, ump.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, I remember one time coaching a youth basketball game, and the scoreboard was wrong. And I was like to the referee, hey, the scoreboard's wrong. Referee goes, okay.
I got nothing to do with me, huh?
By the way, I'm the referee. Yes.
Yeah. Bender, the catcher, according to reports, he told other members of his team, I want the season to end.
But
so you're wondering, why would he do that?
Jay will back me up on this. 6 rounds pretty good. I mean, it's not like he was drafted in the 37th
Baseball?
round.
Absolutely.
This kid is in the 6th round.
Dude is the truth.
He probably got, as we call it today, a bag.
His
and a catcher. And he's a catcher, remember.
There you go.
His season is done. He's now out of a job. They're going to let him keep his bonus and everything. But first thing I thought of is he must have had some money riding on the other team. But I guess he would have been a little more subtle about it. So it looks like he's just like, I just didn't want to play anymore.
Not a lot of juice on the mighty muscles, I don't think. So I think that's where that claim falls to the ground a little bit. I think we should. I like this guy. Call him up. Let's talk to him. I'm sure he's got besieged by calls today.
Yeah, he hit 200 with 2 homers, 8 RBI in 19 games with Fort Myers.
Well, it's not 19 games. He didn't have much of a season. So that was too many for him, 19? Wow.
He must have had, he met, some lady and they had plans. Let's go to Vegas. I can't, we might have a playoff game. Hey, I know.
First of all, that would make him my hero.
You would like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd go to the other guys in your team. Hey, I had a date and waited to take off. They would all go, okay, good. But you only scored 6 runs and the catcher told you what pitch was coming. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it high A or was it short?
No, low A.
Low A.
Yeah. Low A.
Yeah.
I guess they paid this guy $297,500 and he's going to get the entirety of his signing bonus. And some people think now the Twins, the big club, will have to make some kind of statement on this. They've been shedding payroll and now they're paying this guy to go away.
Well, I don't know. Do you think that's in his contract? You can't tell the other team what pitch is coming or we get our money back?
Yeah.
That's not a morals clause.
You would think so.
That's crazy. I didn't. That's like one of those things that I thought that was understood. Yes. I didn't think we had to put it in the contract.
Yeah. So you guys have never heard of that either, huh? Never played with anybody like that?
No. I'm just embarrassed for the other team.
Yeah. 6 runs, not enough.
6 runs? They told you what was coming.
When we come back, should 49er fans be frightened by this fact? Tell you why Jay says, no, just the opposite. Next on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hello? Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey? Half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of consumer cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business.
Sure can.
And the quality is guaranteed?
Absolutely.
Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right?
For sure.
How about this one?
We'll beat it.
Can you print menus, signs, and flyers?
Sure can.
How about blueprints?
No problem.
What about red prints?
Not a real thing.
What if they were?
We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
Hey, listen up. This is your Sactown Sports live events calendar. First on the lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival coming September 12th through the 15th. And then rock out to Zeppelin, USA at Thunder Valley on September 19th. On September 20th, laugh your heart out with comedy superstar Nikki Glazer at Thunder Valley. And the laughs keep on coming on September 21st with George Lopez when he takes the stage at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. If you're a country fan, you won't want to miss Winona Judd at Hard Rock Live on September 28th. And then on October 4th, comedy legend Rob Schneider is bringing the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. On October 20th, you don't want to miss Renee Vaca as he brings his hilarious stand-up to the Crest Theater. And finally, gear up for the ultimate Halloween bash with a $5,000 costume contest. It's Sinners and Saints Saturday at Thunder Valley on Saturday, October 26th. Costumes, music, and plenty of thrills. And that's your Sactown Sports live events calendar. For details, go to sactownsports.com. And stay locked on to Sactown Sports for your chance to win tickets.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports.
It's your boy Double J, and the coverage of the Procore tournament is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices, always about quality. We head down to Napa, and we talk about the Procore Championship, which, of course, is at the Silverado Resort the North Course. Patrick Kisery leads right now with 13 under. He is all done and through for the day. He is finality. He leads by 2 shots right now. It's David Lipsky, JJ Spahn, and Rafael Campos trail by 1, JJ Spahn by 2, Rafael Campos by 5. Of course, Rafael Campos coming out of Puerto Rico. He is through 11 through the day. He's the last one that is on the course. That is your update. Now more of the Drive Guys.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
That Jay always makes it a flashback Friday. No Drapes today. He's covering a football game tomorrow, so he took the day off to prepare and to go travel. And speaking of flashback Fridays, the Phantom is here.
Ready?
There we go.
There I go.
I got you. I got you over here, Phantom.
Listen to J, double J in there.
Right.
I was all involved in his report. He said a guy was 13 under. So what, he shoot at 59 or something? What's going on in there, Double J? That's amazing.
Let's see. He shot a 66 yesterday, 65 today.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Today's Friday.
Today's Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that shows up.
All right.
Flashing back. It's not the flashing I should be doing.
Yeah. There's some people here on the text line, and they're suggesting Phantom has been around a while. Phantom was old school.
What?
He arrived by horse-drawn carriage, things like that.
It was a chariot.
Yeah.
A little bit younger than that old guy.
Anyway, I just have to say in defense of Phantom, people have been taking shots at me, Phantom, for being around a while. When Jay talks about the golf tournament at Silverado, I remember Mom and Dad taking me to the Kaiser tournament.
Yes.
Silverado.
Yeah.
And I remember, just think how long ago this was. I remember sitting there on the tee, hearing Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino discussing this college running back and how great he was going to be. They were talking about Earl Campbell.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
Trevino was
That's
telling
amazing.
Nicholas, this guy's going to be great. He's huge, big hands. They were talking about Earl Campbell.
Trevino knew what he was talking about.
Yes, he
Well
did.
done. Well done, Lee.
Yes.
So
we're both veterans.
We are veterans. That's right.
Wiley veterans.
Crafty, Wiley. Yeah.
We'll get to the 49ers in just a quick moment, but I just can't get over the story about the minor league catcher that was telling the other team when pitches were coming. Phantom says maybe the other team only scored 6 because they didn't believe him.
I think so, but I think you had the perfect, you pointed out the perfect point there as far as how much he needed to do.
They lost 6-0. He didn't have to do anything and they were going to lose. They can't score a run. Just keep your mouth shut. You're going to lose.
The other catcher wasn't saying anything.
Sounds like everybody's ready for the season to end.
Well, that's what I was saying, Jay. But you said this guy was tired of this. He played in 19 games.
Well,
it's not even half a high school
Coastal
season.
Carolina before that, so in a grueling college season.
Grueling college
got
season.
drafted and then 19 games wearing the tools of ignorance back in that Florida heat.
Yeah, I think maybe he got to there and he said, you know something, I'm in low A and these guys are way better than me, so I'm not going anywhere. I'm getting out of here.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying. I know you think he had a date, but you're a romantic at heart, so.
Should 49er fans, meanwhile, be frightened by this fact? The 49ers have not won a game at Minnesota since 1992.
Oh, wow.
That's Steve Young.
1992. They lost at Minnesota in 94, 99, 03, 09, 2012, and 2018. And then last year they lost 22-17. So is that like, they just can't win there? This is a disaster waiting to happen.
As Al Michaels would say, that's ironic.
It's not. But okay.
Well, no.
Yeah.
He and Alanis Morissette. Yeah.
Last year, you probably remember that game. CMC fumbled in the red zone. Moody missed a field goal. Purdy threw 2 interceptions. Remember, Brock Purdy was concussed.
Mm-hmm.
We found out later that he threw the second interception after he was concussed. Kirk Cousins threw for 378 yards.
Monday night, right?
Yeah,
It was Monday
that's
night.
right.
Yeah, because I was in D.C. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you missed it then, because I think the next day, Drapes was on the road with the Kings and Jerry Reynolds was here.
Yeah.
Drapes calls in and we say, "Hey, Drapes, how you doing?" And he says, "Ha, ha, ha, ha." He just started laughing at 49er fans.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I was one of the 3 they lost in a row.
That's right.
Cleveland, Minnesota.
Cleveland the week before, Moody had missed that potential game winner, and then he missed the next field goal in Minnesota. So, yeah.
It comes to an end right here, fellas. It's all she wrote.
You think the reason why they're going to win this week is because they lost last year?
Yeah. One thing the 49ers do is they hold a grudge. It seems like they do it with everybody except for the Chiefs, but that could be hearsay. But I think they're going to come in focused. You hear what they're talking about. You hear Bosa talking about. We remember what happened last year. Of course, Minnesota beating us, like you said. Kirk Cousins, no more Kirk Cousins. Sam Darnold. I think they're excited to play their former teammate. As much as Brock Purdy is, it sounds like Phantom called you as a romantic at heart. He's in love with Sam Darnold. He keeps giving them all this praise. And that may just be Brock Purdy, but I think the 49ers have something up their sleeve. They want to go in, prove this is the first game on the road. Let's make it happen. I think they're going to go in and shellac the boys. Shellac the boys.
It's a fact. There's no way around it. They haven't won there since 1992.
It's called the Mall of America.
Yeah, Vikings got a good win last week on the road.
Against a pesky Giants club.
Yeah, and that Giants club's going to be trouble for somebody, probably themselves. They're at home, and Darnold knows a little bit of the Niners system. I mean, he's familiar with it. He has some familiarity with it. Those are the only 3 things I think Minnesota might have going for them.
Really?
Otherwise, I'm with Double J on this one.
Yeah, like I said, you look at the way the 49ers lost last year, and it was a close game. It was 22-17. I think Purdy threw that interception. They were, driving to
they were middle of the field. Yeah. They were close.
So all those things went wrong and they were still in the game.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think Sam Darnold, and bless him, I don't think he's thrown for 378.
Again, a win last week against a pesky Giants crew. So
Giants
he's got
club.
a lot of confidence right now.
I don't know, did you see any at least highlights of that game? Because the Giants were wearing throwbacks, which to you were probably you probably remember.
I saw those and I said, I had that. I had that one. We call them city editions, I think, in those days. Yeah, absolutely. Those and the Steelers one that look like the convicts. Those are my favorite ones.
The Bumblebee ones?
Yeah, I love those. Those are fantastic. Yeah. No, I was watching it on Red Zone, and the Giants don't usually show up too much on Red Zone. So
except on defense,
yeah,
right?
Well, if you want to call it that. Yeah. No, so, I mean, I was a little bit surprised over I thought it'd be a little closer than that. But other than that, I wasn't surprised the Vikings won.
Yeah. Okay. 49ers impression last week. No CMC.
Absolutely.
No CMC this week. Maybe going on the IR. Oh no.
I think, I follow a lot through the fantasy football leagues, and sometimes.
What's your team name?
My team name is, I have to.
How many do you have? I was going to say.
Just one.
Okay.
My team name every year is based on the anniversary of a movie that was released, the 25th anniversary or 30-year anniversary, and I have to take one of the team members on my team and put it into a saying in the movie. It just takes too long, so I won't even go there.
Princess Bride is a movie?
Princess Bride was Have Fun Storming Matt Castle, which was my title a couple years ago when I won. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
different name
not
this year. Okay,
different name this year. Now I forgot what I was going to say.
You get any apples and oranges from this victory a couple years ago?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There's a little bit of scratch involved, but it wasn't exactly a bag. It was
but
definitely
you have
not,
your bags, man. You just put it in that bag.
Yeah, I just put it in my bag. The bag was a little bit empty in those days.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit more bag because I got Beaver money now and stuff like that.
Beaver bucks.
I keep forgetting I got Beaver bucks.
49ers going to win this week.
Yes, they are.
Are they going to cover 5.5?
Yes, but the thing I was going to say was
you said they're going to cover 2, right, Jay?
Yes.
Jay said they were going to destroy the Jets, and he was right. Me and Drapes, especially Drapes, who's not a big 49er guy. But even I was saying, the Jets, boy, who knows? No CMC. This could be close. Jay was like,
10+.
You're out of your mind.
Well, the thing I was going to say about the fantasy is that Brock Purdy, fantasy-wise last week, didn't do anything, but I don't know. I've seen a quarterback play a better game in a while than he played last week. So that doesn't always translate over to the fantasy part of it. Yeah, he was totally in command of everything. It was. I thought he was really, really impressive in that game.
Jay, I was watching. I had to go with my mom to watch my brother play football. Quarterback. That's when you're a kid. It's like this is taking forever.
It's not it, huh?
But he got sacked. I think it was against Santa Rosa.
And
my mom goes, "Watch this on this next play." I was like, do I have to watch it at all? Anyway, he threw a touchdown pass.
See, mom's knows.
Yeah, yes, she did.
Jay, see what I had to deal with? This guy's over here just complaining.
Didn't even want to
time.
come watch you, support you. You're supposed to be the kid brother on the sideline.
Why don't you just tell him what plays are going to run so he'll lose?
So he knows a lot about quarterbacking.
Well, JV, yeah.
Is Purdy on your fantasy team?
No.
He's
my fantasy quarterback is Kyler Murray. And Purdy's not a great fantasy quarterback because he doesn't score that many points. I'm just saying that as far as playing the game as a quarterback, that was a really excellent game he played last week.
Kyler Murray was named on this show yesterday by a fantasy expert as the soggiest sandwich of the week in fantasy, the most disappointing fantasy player.
That's why my lunch bag was wet at the bottom because I have him, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
But it's like
you're 0-1?
It's almost like I'm hoping. With Kyler Murray, you're hoping because he has the potential to break out, but the consistency is not there. And he played Buffalo last week, so that was a tough matchup.
I think they're going to beat the Rams this week.
Really?
The Rams have like a dozen people that are missing.
I think they're going to beat the Rams.
Right. They're only their left guard and their left tackle and their wide receiver.
And their right tackle and their right guard and their tight end. Yeah. Other than that, they're fine.
I went with the Rams, and it's one of those stupid reasons. Oh, that McVay, they always beat the Cardinals.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's good reasoning.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. But as far as the 49ers go, the news today on Christian McCaffrey is no real surprise, but he wasn't in practice as much as the 49ers continued to say, as far as we know, he's playing. And McCaffrey says, as far as I know, in my mind, I'm playing. Not only is he not playing, but now the 49ers are openly talking about injured reserve, which seems inevitable. And it's to the point now where even they have to admit it that, yeah, well, if that's the best thing, we'll put him on there.
So that whole if it was a playoff game he would have played thing kind of looks if he's going to miss the next 4 games he actually wouldn't have played if it was a playoff
I don't know.
game. People just seem to resort to that as a baseline on how injured somebody is, but it really means nothing.
Mm-hmm. I think if it was a Super Bowl, maybe they'd play him because it's
maybe
like, if it pops or something, oh well.
Would they get to the Super Bowl without him?
After last week.
It's only 1 week, White.
Yeah.
Only one.
Yeah, but I would say,
really?
They could. Yeah.
They could. Yeah. If you asked me that before last week, I'd say, nah. Right now, they can.
The guy looked
Can't
really
they,
good.
Jay?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to look at it.
Yeah.
Not
rose-colored glasses.
Right.
Yeah.
Just look at it objectively.
Yeah, I would like to say as a 49er fan, but I might err on caution. I would say I would need to see it. Yeah, because Brandon, and we know Brandon Ayuk's going to take a couple of weeks to kind of get in shape. He looked terrible last week when it came to putting catching the ball actually in his hands.
Is that the way you want to do it? Yeah, that's an excellent idea.
But I'd have to see it. I know Huff is coming back, which is maybe this week, maybe next week, how the 49ers do it. I think the defense is going to be way better. You've been saying that, Whitey, for the last month now. The defensive line looks way better, and they look way deeper at the same time. Maybe they could ride the defense to the Super Bowl. let me say this. I don't want to find that out. I would like to see CMC come back. Even I don't care if it's week 8. If we got to ratchet them up in week 8, I'd rather go the first 8 than, the last 8.
Yeah, I think you touched on another key to why the 49ers won't collapse against Minnesota like they did last year. You mentioned the defense. Defense was much better last week at stopping the run. They got to stop Aaron Jones this week. But if you go back to that game last year, remember, wasn't it at the end of the half and the 49ers gave up a long play and everyone was saying, how was Steve Wilkes was he blitzing or they weren't in cover 2? Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? There was a lot of criticism of Steve Wilkes at the end of the half that he allowed Minnesota to throw a deep ball. And that was almost the beginning of the end for Steve Wilkes.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Was Steve still up in the booth at that time?
I think
this
he was.
He was. This was the last game. I thought he was still up in the booth.
That could be. Yeah. Because a lot came to a head after that game. And plus, Kirk Cousins just annihilated.
Yeah, 378.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, average. He did not annihilate the Steelers last week.
Average.
That was an average Kirk Cousins day, 378. Yeah.
He didn't look good last week.
No, I give the Steelers a lot of credit. I mean, watching watching that game, TJ Watt just jumps off the screen, and maybe it was just because of that matchup, but he was in there. He was in the backfield. It seemed like every play.
But it was 18-10.
Yeah.
And you, for years, I know because I've been hanging around you, for years you've been talking about the level of quarterback play in the NFL. Right now, it's not great.
No, and
Across
it
the
really
board.
didn't start off this year great. I mean, it was like after the first week of play, you're already hearing people say, we've got maybe 12 good quarterbacks. And that's what we've been saying a long time. But most of the time, teams at the beginning of the season we have 32 good quarterbacks and we are ready to go and sail full speed ahead. And this year, it just really hasn't seemed that way.
Oh, so you're saying people are jumping off?
They're jumping off really quickly
early.
because at the beginning of the season, it's always, this team, except for 4 teams or whatever, these guys all have their quarterback or quarterback of the future in place. But then when it actually gets down to playing, you get through 3 weeks and you look around and go, there's maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, there's 350 million people in the country. Can we find 20 quarterbacks?
It's hard
maybe?
to do.
I guess
it's hard to play quarterback at the highest level. And there's just a lot of guys right now that are kind of in that transitional period where this guy's going to be good someday. He's not now. There's a lot of those guys.
Yeah. And you miss on some of them. Like a Bryce Young situation. There's some
You're
guys
giving up on him already, huh?
I don't want to because I want to give everybody the last chance. But he just looks too little when he's out there playing. He just looks like he's not in command of the situation, and he's on the worst team. So that obviously could have something to do with it. But you got to keep going. You traded half your team for him, so you've got to keep going with him as long as you can. But no, I would say no.
What did you think of the way Aaron Rodgers looked?
I thought he looked great that first drive. It looked great. I give a lot of credit to the 49ers defense. He still made some good throws, but it just seemed like they were able to put him off his marks, and he really didn't move even like he used to move a couple of years ago as far as not, escaping the pocket, but mobility within the pocket, giving himself better throwing lanes, and he didn't really do that much, I didn't think.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Of course, the big news today is not just that the Bills won last night, but that Tua Tagovailoa sustained another concussion. I thought you made an interesting point, Phantom. Normally in sports talk, you got this side, you got that side, and everyone seems to realize right now you can't make a very logical argument for him to stick around and continue to play. As much as we all know he may want to, it just doesn't seem like a reasonable thing to do.
And they asked McDaniel after the game, his impressions and stuff, and not only can you make that argument, I don't think you can make any kind of timetable. There's just you can't, we'll know in 2 weeks. We'll know. It just seems like it's so open-ended to me.
I would push back on that. To me, you can make timetables like right now.
Never.
You're done.
Yeah, you can make that kind of timetable, but it seems like, and you guys talked about it earlier, Tua is going to be the one guy who probably you think would push back on this and say, I can still play. And so there's going to be an amount of time that happens before he is able to make that determination. But it just seems like he would be the guy that say play, and everybody around him, like you say right now, no, it's done. If we had the power to do it, you'd go, you're retired. Go ahead and take your bags of money and, go do something else with your life for a long life. But, he's going to be, I would think, a little bit resistant to that.
What if you're the Dolphins and he says, guys, I still want to play, and you need him, but at the same time you realize, wow, it's probably not safe, and also there's liability involved, right?
Well,
it's a business. That's part of it too. What do you do if you're the Dolphins and he says, I want to play?
As soon as you say it's probably not safe, then I'm out. I mean, that's what I would say. It's probably not. If I have,
you think the Dolphins would act in his best interest? Maybe you're right.
I think they would? No.
Right.
Would I want them to? Yes. But there is no amount of doctors you can put on one side of the scale and say, he's fine, for me to believe that he's fine and not putting himself in any more danger, to your point. I don't think you can't do that to my satisfaction. Maybe you can do that to the Dolphins' satisfaction.
Concussion, tell the truth. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you need in this case.
It'd be interesting to see because, we third parties actually, I guess, assist or I don't have the proper word, but they kind of, call what happens when it comes to concussions, not so much as the team versus the player, because we know, as you guys were talking about, the team needs him. The Dolphins need Tua. Their season's completely over unless they make a tremendous trade to go grab somebody right now. And who's in the game of trading good quarterbacks right now, especially when you don't have that many good ones in the league.
Here you go. A lot of fans, I mentioned this earlier, a lot of Dolphin fans on Twitter say, this is it. The move is there to be made. You talk to the Cowboys and you get Trey Lance.
Ooh. Be interesting.
I honestly thought you were going to say Tom Brady. To me, Tom Brady makes more sense than Trey Lance.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Tom's in but he's in the suit. He's suit and tie. He's got the bow tie. But he's traveling around.
Yeah, he is not happy in that life. I'll tell you right now. He would if he had, and I know, what is he, 48 now?
You're the first person I've heard say that.
Tom Brady.
I hadn't even thought of it.
Brady's like Al Michaels' age at this point.
He is in football years. He is, but our last memory of him is like, well, he's still okay. He could still play.
What is Tom Brady? 46?
I think he's older than that. I think he's maybe 47, 48.
Yeah, it's over. Like, we have to, at some point in time, don't we got to cancel?
Jay, hold
he's
on.
not Minnie Minosa.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Minnie Minosa, it was almost my age. No, but would you rather have Tom Brady out there or Skylar Thompson or Skylar Johnson, whoever that was yesterday? I don't think he could do any worse than.
Let's just call him Skylar Johnson Thompson.
I like it.
Oh, hyphenated.
My
yeah,
cousin.
I love that guy. SJT. Would you rather have SJT or TB out there?
I'd like TB12, but TB12 is off the avocado mixture. Like right now, he's finally indulging in pecan praline.
No, he's not, Jay.
Okay.
You know that even though he can now, I can't have that shake, man. I got to back off. I got to get this suit on. I got to be in the booth. No, I think that, obviously I don't think he's going to come back, but it seems to me that he would be an upgrade over anybody else that they have out there.
Who are you making
the phone
47,
call?
47, okay.
There you go. Piece of cake. What was Minnie? 55, 54, something like
53.
that?
53 on the hit, and then he came back.
Yeah, he did.
He went over
and then
2.
they weren't even telling him what pitches were coming.
Listen.
Tom Brady makes more sense than Trey Lance?
To me, he does.
I'm
not a huge Trey Lance guy. I know that puts me in the minority.
No,
I don't think he's that good.
Would you pick up the phone and call for Justin Fields, or would you pick up the phone and call for Trey Lance?
I'm not getting Justin Fields now. He's the starting quarterback for the Steelers.
Is he though? Is it just the fact that Russell's pulling
a McCaffrey? I mean, he's not going to be around for a while, I don't think. I mean, if he could play, he would have been there.
Do you pick up the phone and say then, hey, Russell Wilson, I'll take him?
No, I can't take. I cannot do that.
You can't take on damaged goods to replace your quarterback who's injured.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Steelers can't afford, even if they had some interest in doing it, they can't trade their backup quarterback when their starter's hurt, or however you want to.
And what a telling fact that the carousel of names that he's throwing out on us, you're just sitting there going, no,
exactly,
no.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
no.
And like you
I
said,
mean, Josh Dobbs is sounding pretty good right now. To me.
Yeah.
He's literally been on every team.
9 teams last year.
Yeah. What is that guy? Was that Chucky Brown or whatever? The
for the
NBA
Kings?
played on like every team.
Yeah, Skylar Johnson Thompson,
SJT.
Which is not his name, I know, but it's what we're calling him. You know what the Dolphins said last night. We feel pretty good about him.
But why then? And they talked about it on the broadcast. He threw for 200 yards in a game or something. Why didn't they let him throw the ball down on the goal line when he took over? Now on 4th down, he did go back. He was sacked the quickest I've ever seen anybody be sacked. He took like a half step, went, oh my God, and fell down.
They probably knew it was a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, in the red zone?
Yeah.
I swing Achane out and hit him on a swing pass or something. Just don't send him up the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who's the best backup quarterback in the league right now? I'm getting ready. I know we have to break. I might have to throw some of these names at you guys.
Fields? Do we not?
Well, he's a starter according to Phantom.
He is.
How
he
about
started last week? He's starting this week.
That pesky kid in L.A., Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, you don't pick up the phone to call
Jimmy
for
G
that.
or Zach Wilson. Who do I want on my team?
Well, he just asked who's the best backup.
No,
AOC in Vegas. You got to give me something better.
All you're getting is grunts.
I'm getting ready to look up the list here. I'll have that answer when we come back from break.
All right. Yes. Also, when we come back, yes, more on the 49ers and why Jay says Minnesota's nothing to worry about this week. Phantom is in for Drapes today. Sactown Sports.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glazer, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glazer.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
No drapes today. We got Phantom in.
That's
Phantom,
right,
the voice of the ARC Beavers.
That's right.
Baseball,
Baseball, softball,
football,
basketball, football, water polo, volleyball, and
Come
soccer.
on, the water polo thing's a bit, right?
Oh,
We do water polo on.
Check us out. I think next Wednesday, 3:30 and 5, got a doubleheader going on at the pool, and some ball and some water polo too.
What's the best program over there? What's the best sport right now?
I
ARC?
don't know.
Their football
Their
squad is
volleyball-
pretty good.
Well, football's been the NorCal finals 3 years in a row. I think volleyball's been to the States 3 years in a row. Their tennis team is fantastic. I haven't done tennis yet. I'll have to try to branch out into that. And cross country, they have a great cross country program too.
You live in Lincoln.
I do.
And you spend a lot of time at ARC.
Yes, I do. Yes.
And ARC I walk my dog there, so it's very close. How many times have you stopped by to say, hey, what's up?
That's an interesting question.
It's not.
Really,
I kid you not.
Really haven't come by at all because I'm actually going there to work.
How many times did I go there to say hi to you?
How many times? Once.
Yes.
Once,
So you got him beat?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Phantom.
He's got me 1-0.
You got to be better than that, brother.
Yeah. Well, he walks his dog a long way. I mean, it's not that close,
He's on the trek.
Yeah. He's taking a long walk, I got to get, I get there. I'm busy. I'm preparing for the game, match, whatever it is. I got to get home.
Can't stop by the Gleason household to get,
hey, what's up?
to get a little dinner, a little supper.
There is a fee to get into the Gleason compound.
That's just a park.
Yeah.
You can get in. Okay, you got to park.
There's a cover charge. Come on. I just want to say hi to you and the wife. Yeah, that'll be $750. Come on.
That's like
That's the old price.
That's a weekday rate.
It's been since I've been there. It's now $22.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, inflation is through the roof, man.
Good to have you with us today.
It's nice to be here.
Nice
to meet Jay.
You're welcome to just stop by and hey, I just did water polo at ARC. And I just came by to see if you had a towel handy or something.
No, I
anytime.
got towels there. No problem.
How's that water polo squad at ARC these days?
I don't know. I haven't seen him yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you haven't?
I'll check it out. No, this
Not
is
as
the first
familiar.
inaugural match.
Is it true that the first time you did water polo, there was somebody in the stands that was looking at you funny because they realized you really didn't know what you were talking about?
We figured out that the perfect place to broadcast from was actually sitting in the stands. And so I'm, carrying on my spiel and there are a few rules in water polo I wasn't familiar with at the time. And so I'm trying to say that somebody's doing a corner kick or something when actually they were what's called excluded at 20 seconds. They have to get out of the pool because they fouled.
Yeah.
And I'm
struggling
trying to describe the action. And there's a woman 2 rows in front of me, and she turned and she's obviously like her son was playing. And she looked at, and she just kind of smiled that smile like, I know you're trying, honey. It's okay. I know you're trying.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So, yeah. But they're very nice people.
Now you're an expert.
Now I'm no better than I was that day. But I can see it well, and I know the numbers, and I can remember the names of the players, and that's really all you need to do.
We've been talking today about, among other things, the the sorry state of quarterbacking in the NFL.
Yes, absolutely.
And, all the best to Tua. And he's having it looks like he got his career on track, and now he probably shouldn't keep playing. But we've just been talking about why is a team like Miami, they don't really have a very good backup. The Green Bay Packers lose Jordan Love. Malik Willis, bless him. He just got there. Why are they not prepared? So we've been looking at who has the best backup quarterback situation. Jay says he's got it for us.
I've got one, but I'm going to start Pro Football Network, Pro Football Focus. They kind of combine, which is crazy. I have no idea.
Can I throw one out first?
Please.
Local hero Jake Browning.
Shots out.
Cincinnati
That's a really
Bengals.
good
That's
one.
a good one.
Very good one.
Guess what? They have him second on this list.
Wow.
Get me number one.
Get you number one? So you don't want number two?
No, I want he's number two, but I want he's second best. Get me the guy who's first. I want him.
Jimmy G, number three.
See, I mentioned him too.
You did. You're on fire today.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, number four. Joe Flacco.
I'm sorry?
Joe Flacco.
Where is he now? I should know
The
that.
Colts.
He's on the Colts.
Joe Flacco. There you go. Number five, Andy Dalton. No love for Andy Dalton?
I thought he said Andy
Carolina?
Dalton. Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought he said anti
I
Dalton?
thought he said Andy Dalton. And I thought, Andy Dalton's a good player.
You're fat,
Andy Dalton, don't pinch my cheeks. Those cheeks.
How about Jacksonville? Remember who their backup guy is?
It's not Mark Brunell.
Oh, he was good.
It was Gardner Minshew, and now it's Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's doable.
And, yeah. In this climate, with him as a backup, I'd feel like I've got something to work with.
In these times, that's good.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's good, but in
Times
these
like
times,
these.
it's good. Yeah, exactly.
About the number one guy.
How about him?
Jameis Winston.
That's just wrong.
What? Going back to Florida?
Do you think he's the best backup?
I'm just going off Pro Football.
No, I know.
Network.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Do you guys
He's the
think
most accomplished, isn't he?
Well, he's done some things, yeah, but I would feel much better personally about putting in Jake Browning than putting in Jameis Winston.
I think I'm running with Jameis.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I think I'm running with Jameis.
That's a nice list that has a couple of guys that it'd be okay to have as backups, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just, what'd you go, 8 deep? So there's 24 more teams that.
And you're what is it? Only 4 deep before you hit the Flacco.
Yeah,
I like the Flacco.
Joe
The Flacco was good
4th.
last year.
Yeah, he's 4th. But he's like Al Michaels' age almost.
Yeah,
he is.
So you'd rather have Tom Brady?
I
than
want Brady.
Most of those guys or all those guys?
Of those guys?
Yes. And what's the list again, Jay? Like the top?
The top. Jameis, Jake Browning, Jimmy G, Joe Flacco, and
you have Mac Jones. I think?
No, Mac Jones number 9.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
trying
would
to
I
see
rather have Brady than Mac Jones?
Brady right now out of the booth.
Andy Dalton was number 5.
Yeah, Andy Dalton.
Oh, and I think Andy Dalton's older than Brady, so that would be okay. I don't know. I mean, the fact that
The answer is no, you would not.
No, I would not. No.
Thank you.
But that doesn't mean I wouldn't rather have him than number 12.
Drake May, Michael Penix Jr., 6 and 7. Number 8, Mac Jones. Number 9, Russell Wilson. 10, Tyrod Taylor, who we saw last week.
I'm a big Tyrod Taylor
I like
guy.
Ty
I am
guy.
too, but I realize he's not very good. Every time I
No.
see him,
I know.
Yeah, and then I watch
He
him.
would
I was
have been
like,
if it wasn't for those
not very
pesky Charger doctors.
Yeah, if they hadn't punctured his lung.
Yeah, so that affected his performance.
Mm-hmm. So
Let's see where Skylar T is, right? Carson Wentz, number 11 for the Chiefs.
See,
somebody mentioned him on the chat.
we're getting into the rather have Brady territory.
Yeah, I think we're there. Tyson, you got Sam Howell, you got Tyson Badgett for the Bears, 14 Cooper Rush, 15 Nick Mullins. Like, yeah, I'm probably calling Matt Ryan almost before I get to these guys. Drew Lock, Aiden O'Connell, 17.
Wow.
17.
So you mentioned Cooper Rush, which means that Trey Lance isn't even on the list because he's their third quarterback. Why? Right? So why are so many people still so fascinated by Trey Lance?
I think they could be fascinated without wanting them on their team. Do you think many people want him on their team?
I still think there's a lot of people who think, you know what?
I could fix
49ers
him.
did him wrong, and he's still a really.
Well, you don't know what he is yet, right?
Don't we? I mean,
isn't that the mystique right there?
Yeah, you don't really know. It's kind of the Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know what Justin Fields completely is because most people will say, oh, man, the Bears were terrible. They were trash. They didn't give him a great opportunity to go out there and be successful. I think that's the Trey Lance effect. We don't really know what he truly is.
Because we haven't seen it?
Yes.
Because I'm assuming that based on what the coaches have seen,
sure,
they are
In
telling
practice,
us what he
they've seen
is.
it, yeah.
But I think
That's an assumption.
if you are, and don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure all GMs, coaches, all these guys, small circle, big league, small circle, small league, big circle, however you want to see it, I would imagine there's someone, and we know this, there's always a coach or a QB coach or someone, an organization who's like, you know what? Yeah, he was over with the Niners. They get a fair shake. He went down to Dallas. He's playing behind Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones, it's a circus. Ringling Brothers. I think Trey Lance might be able to be, come here and be productive. I just think we don't know we haven't seen what he can do on the field. We know what he's done in practice.
He had one of the most bizarre preseason games we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5
picks?
Yeah. 3 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Like
and
400 yards, 5. Yeah, something crazy, right?
Crazy.
And you can't, you say, well, he hasn't really got a chance. I don't know that people can give him a chance now because so much depends on it. It's not like you can go, hey, well, I'm going to just ride with Trey Lance. Well, he could cost a guy his job. If you get him for, give him a 9th round pick or whatever it is and bring him in and take a look at him. But like you say, the coaches see him in practice all the time and they're not exactly elevating him. So that would tend to make you think that he hasn't shown much. But you can't really take a chance on guys because there's too much at stake.
33 of 49 for 323 and a touchdown, 90 yards and a touchdown, and 11 carries rushing, 5 interceptions, sacked 3 times. Yeah.
Yes. It's preseason football for you there, brother.
What his fantasy value was that day. That's insane.
But who would know what Trey Lance can bring to the table is Mike McDaniel, right?
Yeah, it's a good point.
He was there for a year, right? A year with him. And so I'm pretty sure he has a good grasp on and they 49ers, Dolphins run similar types of offenses, of course.
Yes.
I would imagine Mike McDaniel would be able to say, that's a guy that I wouldn't mind putting, the rest of or at least we don't know. We don't know what's going on with Tua, the foreseeable future. And if they believe Skylar Thompson's that guy, I guess we won't see any movement. Now, I do think if, for whatever reason or a good reason, I should say, if Tua comes out and says, you know what, this is it for me, or at least I'm going to take off the rest of this season, I'm not going to play, then I think if you believe Skylar Thompson's going to ride you to the playoffs, you are probably mistaken.
The other side of that Trey Lance coin that you just broke down is if Mike McDaniel does not have any interest in pursuing him, as familiar as he is, that tells you a lot too.
Right.
He's a team in desperate need of a quarterback.
Yeah.
They got a guy who's somewhat familiar with your system. He's presumably available if he's a 3rd string quarterback. If Mike McDaniel doesn't want him, then that's what I'm saying. I think we know what he is.
Wouldn't you have to change? Trey Lance doesn't fit every system, to your point. You've got to kind of tailor it around him if he's going to be successful. And if that's not the team you have in place already, then he wouldn't work for you.
And he has, Dallas doesn't run the same system, so he has been under a different system, but he should be very familiar with the basic concepts that Miami's running and Mike McDaniel's running.
I'm just wondering if that's the best, if he's the best guy to have in that system. To better.
He's not a prospect anymore, right?
Well, I know, and so you're going to say, how do I accentuate his talents? How do I make it so it's his talents? And I don't know if that's congruent with the rest of the team.
Marcus Mariota, Chuckles 916 asked about Marcus Mariota.
It's nice that he mentioned him.
Sactown says, Mariota, the best available quarterback. Campio says the best backup is Derek Carr. What about Spencer Rattler? Huh?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, they're not giving up Spencer yet, though.
No, but I just mean in terms of how good the backup quarterbacks are.
Well, if we're going down that route, then for me, I'm taking the flyer on Michael Penix. I think he's the best.
There's
going
no way you're getting him though.
Yeah, no, of course. You're not getting Drake May. You're not
absolutely.
getting Michael Penix. You're not getting Spencer Rattler. Like those guys are off the table. You're not getting those guys because the teams they play on, there's a reason. They have these top 1st round, 2nd round draft picks. Spencer Rattler, I believe, went 3rd round this past year. But I'm taking a shot. I'm taking a shot with someone that I might be familiar with. And I do understand what you're saying, Whitey, in the form of that might be an indictment on, in
a way,
he's not the guy. Yeah, he's not the guy. But I do think you need to pick up the phone and start calling. And I know Phantom talked about a little earlier. It's kind of tough to do it now because we don't really know the timetable besides the fact of you probably shouldn't be playing. And if that's the timetable, then I'm on the phone with everybody. Jameis, what's it going to take? What's it going to take to get Andy Dalton or whoever you believe can take you to the promised land?
I don't think the 49ers will ever, as long as Kyle Shanahan is there, he's never going to let them fall into that situation where they don't have good backups because of what happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
exactly. Josh Johnson gets hurt, and then they didn't have a quarterback. So that's why they're always going to have, I think, they're always going to have at least 2 decent backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, and the thing with the Dolphins is, to your point, they have to look for a short-term answer, but they may also be looking for a long-term answer.
That's
so
right.
they got to serve 2 masters, and that makes it even more difficult.
When we come back, Josh Allen gets an A for trolling with the Drive Guys. Phantoms in today, Sactown Sports.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town. Getting drunk on a plane. For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2. What was I thinking? And he's bringing some friends. Harmony. I want to close your eyes for this. Tyler Rich. Dasha. And more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sacramento State football is back this Saturday for their home opener. The Hornets look to make their 5th straight trip to the postseason as they battle another FCS playoff team from 2023. It's the Hornets versus Nicholls State. Game time at Hornet Stadium, 6 o'clock, and stay for the post-game fireworks show. It's the home opener for Sacramento State football Saturday at 6. Log on to hornetsports.com for tickets. Go Hornets! Stingers up.
Silverado Savings Spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton iCountry after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Get ready for an epic fiesta on Tuesday, September 17th, when the Sacramento Rivercats become Los Dorados de Sacramento for a night of Hispanic heritage fun. Grab your amigos, bring the familia, and enjoy some baseball with us. Visit rivercats.com to purchase tickets. Vamos, Rivercats!
I've always believed that golf is more than just a game. It embodies integrity, commitment, and a sense of style. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa, and I'd like to tell you a bit about Naturewood Home Furnishings, a business that shares these same values. With the Procore Championship Professional Golf Tournament happening at the stunning Silverado Resort in Napa, I couldn't help but notice the parallels. Just like the game of golf, Naturewood has built its reputation on integrity, commitment, and timeless style. Looking to bring a unique style into your home? Naturewood offers custom certified designers who can help you craft the perfect look tailored just for you. And while you're enjoying the elegance of the tournament this week, along with Napa's world-class wine and food, be sure to visit Naturewood Home Furnishings. You'll discover pieces with the same sophistication and quality as the game itself. Who knows? You might even find an heirloom that will be passed down for generations. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Just look for the water wheel.
The 90th Annual Marysville Stampede is coming to Marysville's Cotton Rosser Arena this Saturday and Sunday. It's a whole weekend of the best pro rodeo action for the whole family. Bareback, saddle bronc, and bull riding. Plus the BMX motorcycle show. It's just $25 for adults and $15 for kids 4 to 12. The 90th Annual Marysville Stampede, Saturday at 5 p.m. and Sunday at 3:30 p.m. at the Cotton Rosser Arena in Marysville. Get your tickets at MarysvilleStampede.com.
Dash forever. Somebody to me, loving your brother's appearance on today's show. Wait, you're my brother?
Wow.
That's right.
That's why I'm here. To drop that on you.
How about that? That's nice.
That is very nice. Thank you very much.
Some nice things on the
Yeah,
chat.
some people, yeah.
The chateau we call. What do you think of that? The
Chateau?
chateau.
Oh.
Chateau. It's where you chat on YouTube.
So it's the house of chatting. Yes, the chateau. That's fantastic. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Spent a lot of time on that.
I can tell. Maybe Jay should have canceled you.
Yeah. I just want to give a shout out to Josh Allen. I thought last night he deserved an A for trolling in one instance. And then we'll get to this near 49er trade. I want to see what Jay thinks of this trade that supposedly the 49ers nearly made. But there was a play last night, Josh Allen running for a gain of yards,
a couple yards.
Yeah. And David Long Jr. is a Dolphins linebacker. And Josh Allen gets up and David Long Jr. had words for him. And it looked like one of those things where he was like, hey, you better watch out those pump fakes. You better be careful, or, you better slide, or, threatening him.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen, as the guy's talking, looks at the back of the guy's jersey like, okay, who are you again? And I just thought that was very
very nice. Yeah, that is very
David
good.
Long Jr. is pretty good, so I'm pretty sure Josh Allen knew who he was, but he made his point.
Yes, he did. Yes, I'm Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And you're not.
Okay, and you?
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Okay,
you for the comment.
Mr. Long, I'll write that down.
Pretty good, right, Jay? Well played?
Of course.
Yeah.
He one thing about Josh Allen too is he could fire it off a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he's a little he likes to ruffle your feathers here and there.
He's a Central Valley Fireball. It's not really.
Yeah, Fireball, right?
Yeah.
Central Valley.
Is that Central Valley? Or are we Central Valley? It's nowhere near here.
I have no
We
idea.
were driving through there
I
on my
think
way to Palm Springs.
It's just further down.
It's just like out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's in the middle. Yeah. Between the 99 to 5, probably like 150 miles from here. So yeah, it is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So imagine he's pretty scrappy to survive out there.
You think Jay was a stir when he was on the bench, playing in his baseball days? You think this guy
bench jockey?
This guy, I think he was he was giving it.
I'll ask him.
Were you giving it from the bench, getting on the pitcher?
Not really. I'd walk out on the field and give it to you. I didn't have to sit on the pine and do it. Yeah, I was one of those guys that I always play fiery. I was small, I was fiery. I had to fire myself up. But I definitely was the type of person, if you looked my way, I was going to definitely send it your way. Yeah.
So if you're on first base as a grounder is short, they're not turning that double play, right?
Well, it depends, because sometimes I did want to protect my handsome face. So,
Oh, that's right.
And he had
forgot
the
about
problem,
I
too.
forgot about
Yeah,
your
right.
matinee idol looks. Yeah,
Yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah. Obviously, so he went head first, and now he has to protect his face.
Yeah. I'm a head first guy.
Don't ask Jay. You're a big baseball guy, too. Played a lot of baseball. Don't ask him about today's batting averages.
Oh, man.
He
Oh,
can't.
I already know I'm with him.
Really?
I already know that. Yeah. I can't figure out today what's going on with the
Jay
formulas and
says
everything.
he would. You got drafted, right? You got
No,
drafted?
so I actually, because I came out my senior year, I signed as free agents.
Okay.
Yeah, I skipped my draft.
Yeah. But he looks at the batting
Yeah.
averages and says, I could do that right now.
I like that.
200?
If he could, that means Tom Brady could come back and play football.
Yeah, well, Tom's a little older than me, but yeah. Honestly, fellas, just
Here
think
he
about
goes.
this.
Here he
Here
goes.
we go.
The J train is rolling.
I like it. Get me a ticket.
It's not hard to get. If Manny Minosa can get a hit at the age of 53,
Off Sid Mungie.
come on.
Oh,
man.
wow. Off the left-hander?
Come on.
Yeah.
man.
And it's funny. Jay was asking me yesterday. That came up in our quiz. He's like, where did he hit it? Was it a line drive? I'm like, I don't know. It's a good
It
question.
wasn't an infield single. I'll guarantee
He
you that.
poked it. It was a punch and Judy.
I think he ripped it right in the hole. 5, 6,
5
7.
holes, 6 holes. Yeah,
Look
where
at
he
that.
goes-
It's in a hole.
Yeah. Is Ohtani the best baseball player ever?
I'm going to wait a little bit on that. I mean, he's certainly very, very impressive, but give it a little time.
Who is?
Great pitcher.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's
First
not pitching
50-50
now.
guy, perhaps.
Perhaps, yeah.
On his way.
Yeah. It's okay if I take a year or two and watch everybody and let him career play out all the way. Is that okay?
Okay, but let me ask you, as of right now, if he didn't play another game, is he the best baseball player ever?
I would say no.
Why? How come? I'm not saying you're wrong, but how come?
Because I think there are people who, but now sensational numbers, obviously, but there are people who put together careers of twice as long or more than that, who put incredible careers together, who I think have a claim to it. I mean, I know they're older school players, but still, and even a Barry Bonds would have a claim to it as well.
Who is? Jay asked you who is.
Well, I'm a Willie Mays guy.
Mm.
Just because he hit you a fly ball once at Wilson
No,
Park.
he didn't hit me a fly ball. He hit infield and outfield, and I was playing center field. And he hit me a fly ball, and I looked up in the air. I'm 10 years old. I looked up in the air. I thought it was an airplane. I couldn't see it. So he hit me like 4 in a row. I missed them all. I'm sitting out there in center field, and he finally goes, okay, I'm going to hit you an easy one. He hit me the hardest line drive I've ever seen in my life. My hand still hurts.
Oh, but you got a glove on it?
I caught it.
Nice.
That's right. And then he gave me an autographed baseball at the end and said,
Do you still have it?
No, I played catch with it in the street. And
what?
Yeah. Well, in those days, we didn't really put much stock in, saving
was precious,
right?
right?
Yeah, I needed a baseball. We were going to play a game. We had no
Sandlot.
baseball.
You guys sound like Sandlot.
No, it was a big mistake on my part. I'm not saying that. It's just
I don't remember ever even seeing that ball. So by the time I came along, whatever you were going to do with it, you done with it.
Well, yeah, because we had to have a game. We had no ball. I had to go out and get my ball.
I did that with a ball. Tug McGraw's from Vallejo, and 1 year he was a reliever, and I think this was like 1970 or something. He started in the second game of a doubleheader, and he won the game, beat the Cubs. So they wrote everything. Tug McGraw, winning pitcher, Mets 3, Cubs none, whatever, and the date and everything. And he gave it to my dad. My dad gave it to me, and I played with it in the street.
Dang, that's an awesome ball too. Tug McGraw is the man. Oh, you got to believe, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Like you say, it's like, hey, it's a great baseball. Let's go. I play baseball.
You're old school too. You're old like me. Yeah. I hit a baseball. Now, yours had a bunch of writing on it. Mine just had a little thing. Yours had a bunch of a paragraph.
It did.
Yeah. Maybe I should keep this. Let's go play.
Those are the days, Jay. Yeah.
You guys are Willie Mays. You had a ball from Willie Mays.
Yeah, Willie Mays. Yeah.
He caught a fly ball.
Well, I did.
He looked at a fly ball from Willie Mays.
Well, that's the thing that we were. It was a whole thing. He came down to Vallejo to give a clinic, and he was hitting infield. And I got to pick my position. I could have been catcher or center field. I said, "Well, it's Willie Mays. I'm going to be center field."
Right.
Well, the catcher got to stand next to Willie Mays for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was out 400 feet away trying to chase fly balls. I think I fell down like 3 times. That's 10 years old.
Did your cap fall off? A la Willie Mays?
All the time. Yeah. I turned my back just like Willie Mays and ran, and he just said, keep going.
Jay, did you hear about this trade the 49ers almost made with the Raiders?
Yeah.
Mike Silver. You heard about this?
Myers?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think? The Raiders, who are believed to be receptive to stockpiling picks, were approached about dealing Jacoby Myers. The Raiders rebuffed the 49ers' overtures for the 6-year veteran. That's when everything was going on with Ayuk.
Yeah.
They almost traded for Jacoby Myers. According to the report, the Raiders said,
law firm.
No.
For what? I mean, they don't have a proper QB hitting them.
It implies that draft picks were involved.
Yeah, got you. I mean, it is what it is. Secondary, he probably doesn't even start. He probably is the 3rd or 4th guy for the 49ers if he does get traded. I truly think Juwan Jennings steps in, and if Ayuk is not there, he's the guy across from Deebo Samuel. But we know Deebo is kind of the Swiss Army knife. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
So hence that's why you would have seen the law firm Jacoby Myers jump in there. But let's not forget about my guy Tricky Ricky P now. Ricky Pearsall. Like we have to start to think about Tricky Ricky P coming and getting on that field. And I know, we're still 3 weeks away, but I mean, you don't pick him in the first round and don't play him, right? So, like, where is he going to be in this? He's got to be one of the first 3 guys on the football field for the 49ers. Now he's probably 4 because Juwan and Ayuk are there. But, I mean, he's got to get some type of playing time. What are we doing with him?
With all the receivers they have, to your point, maybe they had an inkling that Debo's going to be lined up in the backfield a lot. Maybe they,
CMC.
Maybe they had an inkling that
half the season
might have an issue this season. With
what
CMC.
scares you, by the way, fellas?
Sharks.
A lot of things, yeah.
Catching flying balls.
Everything in Australia. Just everything they have down there.
What's scary? Even the Aussie Open?
Yeah, Crocodile Dundee. Doesn't
Olivia
matter.
Newton-John didn't scare you, did she?
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
What a sweetheart.
That might be a conversation for off there.
Have you never been mellow, my friend?
Sorry, I went there.
How long scares you for CMC to be on the sideline? Like, I know we're probably like, okay, a little interesting now, but let's just say we get to week 5 and he hasn't played, or week 7. Like, where do you start to panic?
I'm assuming he's going to go on the IR, and then he's going to miss, 3 more weeks?
Yeah.
4 weeks?
Yeah, so this week plus 3 more. So it'll be week 5, right?
If he's on the IR and then it's time for him to come off that, and
week 6
he can't play.
Yeah, right away.
That's a problem.
That's where you start to
If he's
become
on the
a problem.
shelf, and then when he can come off the shelf, he needs to be on the field.
You know, if they're resting it, they're giving him, who knows, platelet-rich plasma therapy, whatever, all that stuff. And if it's still not better, then who knows if he's
so week 6, you guys expect to see him on the field.
That was me. I don't know about Olivia.
No,
Newton-John.
if he's O&J, if he's put on the IR, yes, as soon as he's eligible to play again, he needs to be out on the field.
We're going to talk we got a guy from the Vikings coming up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, about 4:15.
Is it Justin Jefferson?
It's Matt Coller. Yeah, from the Purple Insider Daily Vikings.
Oh, the
newsletter.
Purple Insider.
He probably knows Justin Jefferson.
Okay, I'll ask him.
So we got that coming up. And yes, we got the latest on the Christian McCaffrey situation. Rolling on with the Phantom today, who's scared of everything almost from Australia.
Almost.
On a Flashback Friday, Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, it will certainly be emotional when the A's get back home to begin the final homestand in Oakland. And think of all the success the A's have had over the years at the Coliseum. In fact, the A's have the most walk-off wins in baseball beginning in 1968. Including 3 on the last homestand, the home run by Shea Langoliers and 2 singles by Seth Brown.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver. That includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay to store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
It's not hard to be a mom. It's hard to be a good mom. It's easy to be a bad mom. That's so easy. But to be a good mom is hard. To be a bad mom, that's as easy as being a great dad. That's...
Nikki Glaser, Alive and Unwell Tour. Friday, September 20th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. She's alive and unwell. Don't miss Nikki Glaser.
Thank you. Good night.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Look who's with us today.
Ah.
We don't have Kyle Draper. We have the Phantom. Thank you for coming in, Phantom. Phantom, an original King season ticket holder. So coming up this hour, we're going to see what Phantom thinks of our top 40 Kings. He was almost selected to be on the panel. He wasn't, but we still need to get your views.
What an honor that would have been.
How much did that tab hit you for in 1985 there, Phantom? Do you remember?
What's that?
How much was the tab for that season ticket holding in 1985?
I remember because we had 5 people in our group and we all got season tickets, which is amazing since the demand for tickets was large. But
Did you win a lottery or something? Seriously?
No. Well, there was other stuff involved that got us in.
Okay.
But then for the
Inside
payment, I think it
information.
was like,
yes.
I'm trying to think exactly how much it was for 80 games. I don't know, $50 a game, $20 a game, something like that.
And you had pretty good seats. And
Oh,
there weren't
great
a lot
seats.
of bad
We
seats.
were at the last row of the first section. There was only 2 sections in those days. We're the last row of the first section, right by where the Axelsons had to walk at halftime, to
he
get
was
up
a
at the
GM.
clubhouse. And we exchanged words with Joe when he came by, and we let him know how the team should be run. And he was actually kind of cool.
Is it true that you were at the first Sacramento Kings draft?
Yes.
Which was held at
it was not very far from here.
Really?
It was called the Woodlake Inn in those days.
Woodlake Inn?
Yeah, it was right over there, I think.
And you were heckling the gym because you thought they should have drafted Karl Malone?
I was, and believe we didn't have all the information that you have now, but even I knew then that, all due respect, that Joe Klein wasn't the guy I wanted for the squad. And I was a season ticket holder, so I had a stake
so you
in
had
it.
a right to
And
yell
I
at
was
him.
sitting there. It was like 9:00 in the morning or something like that. We were hammered already. But I was saying, Karl Malone. I was telling him Karl Malone, and I'd read him in 2 magazines, so it wasn't that hard. Wasn't that hard to find any information about him? And I advocated for Mr. Malone, and I was.
If only.
They did not listen to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we had a great time.
Yeah, we've got that coming up. In about 10 minutes, we're going to talk to Matt Coller from the Minnesota Purple Insider, get to the Vikings perspective on this game. Before we get to that, just looking at the Christian McCaffrey situation and also an injury situation involving perhaps the 49ers' chief Super Bowl rival. The Chiefs got some bad injury news today. Wide receiver Marquise Hollywood Brown scheduled for surgery for a sternoclavicular injury. And Coach Andy Reid says Hollywood Brown could miss the remainder of the season.
Well, I mean, obviously you want to have as many weapons as you can. They've done okay without him so far, but they weren't. It was kind of like he will be coming back at some point to what Jay's question was earlier about CMC. They thought he had a timetable to return, and this obviously puts a wrench in that.
Andy Reid today. Andy Reid used to coach at San Francisco State, by the way. He said, Yeah. It's not going to be weeks, more like months. And this is a guy who was injured in their first preseason game. Yeah. And, some coaches, they don't like to play their guys in the preseason. But Andy Reid says, no, they got to play. And in the first preseason game, he got hurt.
Yeah, and I think that's going to hurt Worthy, too, because I think that Brown was the other guy that was going to kind of, quote, take the top off the defense. And now they can, put all the attention on just Worthy. They don't have to worry about Brown defensively.
He was injured after catching a pass on the first play of the Chiefs' first preseason game, August 10th against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Didn't play in the opener against Baltimore. They thought he was coming along well, but I guess there was something in the spine. They looked at it and said, that ain't right. You better have surgery. You better not play.
It's sternoclavicular.
Sternoclavicular,
as you know, that's some pretty serious stuff.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
Hopefully we'll see him again on the field next year.
Yes, that should be one of our words, Jay. Sternoclavicular.
Yeah. I mean, how do you work that in?
Because
you got to have that. The region has to be hurt, right?
That's right.
You can't just pull that out of thin air and throw it out there.
Sternoclavicular.
Wait a minute, he has a limp. It must be sternoclavicular in nature.
Would be hard to fit in there. Christian McCaffrey, as you know, today.
Is that one word?
Yes.
It's not hyphenated or nothing.
Like the sternum and the clavicle.
Clavicle, right.
Where they intersect. That's your sternoclavicular.
That's right here. It's involved in moving the sternum and the clavicular.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. So that's unfortunate for the Kansas City Chiefs and then the 49ers. It's interesting because Kyle Shanahan earlier this week said, IR, Christian McCaffrey, we're not thinking about that.
No, we're not thinking at all.
John Lynch today on the radio in San Francisco on his on the 49ers Bay Area flagship, he said, well, if that's the best thing to do, we'll do it. And today it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Christian McCaffrey was not present for the open portion of today's practice, so he ain't playing this week and looks like he may not be playing for a while. On the one hand, that's stunning news. On the other hand, I think that's just the way this thing's been going.
Right. And they're encouraged by the way they played last week. And that's what he needs. And that's what you've got to give him. And it looks like they'll be all right waiting for him to come back. It's just weird, though, because it's just, if that's what they need to do, we'll do it. But 2 days ago, that's not what you needed to do. So either this injury or condition is, changes all the time, or he just wasn't really facing facts 2 days ago.
Here's what I think. I think that they were hoping, it's like they knew that potentially was serious, but they were hoping, they tried to put as happy a face on it as they could, and they were hoping, hey, in another week he'll be good to go. Then they realized that ain't happening, guys.
No.
It's just not happening, so we're going to have to be a little more forthcoming on this. The gamesmanship now, we start to look bad if every week, we're saying he might play this week and he doesn't. People are going to catch on. There was gamesmanship involved last week, but you can't keep playing that card.
Right. So 2 weeks, we were hoping maybe it would be a 2-week thing, but once you realize it's going to be longer than that, let's go ahead and pull the plug and just let him settle down.
That's the way it looks. And I don't know that that's official yet. Is that what Pelissero said? He's going on the IR?
No, it's not official. The 49ers going to keep it close to the vest until probably the last hour, as they say on the Red Zone, the witching hour.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be one of those things. I hear what you guys are saying, fellas. I just can't understand. You knew this was going to be a problem. 49ers knew this was an issue. And if you knew he was even close to sitting on the IR, you should have did that last week. Even yesterday, we played a sound CMC was talking about, like, oh, yeah, I could play tomorrow. I mean, I could play in a couple of days. No, you can't. You can't. So I don't know if it's CMC or Shanahan or Lynch, a 49er organizational situation, trainers. I don't know what's going on over there with the communication, not between each other, but as far as putting it out here. And even I just looked down on my on Twitter or X, or as you say, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And it was Ian Rappaport. He's saying, this was an hour ago. Let's see here. As my Ring app post up here. Per the NFL, we looked into the 49ers reporting of the playing status of CMC for the team's Monday night game against the New York Jets. We have found no evidence of a violation of the league's injury report policy in this manner. And this is that's what the 49ers do, right? So if that's the case, if that's what the league is reporting, if that's what the Rules Conduct Committee is reporting, and Tom Pelissero is reporting that, then CMC didn't have no shot of playing.
I guess, but if they didn't put him on the IR when they first could have, there must have been somebody somewhere who was telling him, you never know. It's a long shot, but maybe he's better in a week. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but that must have been the case.
Isn't this the kind of injury, though, that he is the final determinant? I mean, if he says he feels good,
yeah,
then he's kind of the last word. So maybe if he says, no, I feel okay, and they go, well, if he feels okay, let's wait another day and see if he still feels okay tomorrow. And so, I mean, it's not like the guy's looking at an x-ray go, well, the bone's not healed yet. It's like he's saying, no, I feel okay today.
This is not a sternoclavicular situation.
Well done, sir. No,
yeah.
I hope not.
I am bumfuzzled by the fact that you put that in there.
Yes. So it could be that phantom. It could be they were kind of letting him
they'd have to in a way for this
where they were going.
Like,
are you okay? Yeah, it's feeling better. And then it could be the point where a doctor came in and said, no matter what he says right now, he should be out a while. And so they reluctantly
do that last week, though.
I know, but there must be a reason. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. Why didn't they?
And you get to the point, like we were saying, okay, now let's give him 4 weeks of rest, or in this case, it will be 3 more, I guess. Let's give him the 4 weeks of rest, and then he should be able to. He's going to get as good then. He's going to get as good then as he's going to get.
Yes.
So let's see where he is in 4 more weeks or 3 more weeks.
Hate to say it, but maybe they don't need him right now, huh? What?
Okay,
no,
that's not. Wait a minute.
Jordan Mason. That's 147 on 28 totes.
Is sternoclavicular in nature, my friend.
Right now, I said.
Yeah.
Right now, maybe you don't even
Not
need
for
him.
the Vikings game. We'll ask Mr. Collier whether they need him for the Vikings game.
All right. So Matthew Coller from the Purple Insider gives us the Vikings point of view when he joins us next, right after this break. Drive Guys with Phantom today on Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to folsomlakehonda.com. Your one-stop Honda shop.
Welcome to Staples. My son's teacher emailed his back-to-school list. He needs crayons and notebooks.
With Staples Hot Deals, you'll find low prices on tons of school supplies. And all in stock.
Oh, now they're saying he needs folders and glue.
You got it.
And markers? Of course. Oh, geez.
Might I suggest 2 carts?
Staples has everything for school in stock and priced low. Right now, 24-pack Crayola crayons and 2-pocket poly folders are only 50 cents each at Staples. Ends 9/14, in-store only, limit 10 while supplies last.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Flashback Friday with Jay. Phantom in today. You want Flashback Friday? Look at the Phantom joining us.
Here we go.
Yeah. Whitey, glad you're with us. We get ready for the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. Going to go, as they say, behind enemy lines.
Oh,
We have no reason.
Welcome him in.
We have no
on.
reason to have anything against this gentleman, at least not yet.
I don't like him.
Yet. He is a Vikings beat reporter for the Purple Insider, a daily Vikings newsletter. Matthew Coller with us. Matthew, how are you today, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. I honestly can't wait for this football game. You know, I tell you, when your team has a good week one, it's an enjoyable lead up to week two, isn't it? I mean, because all the teams that had blowouts, they just feel like their season's over. So now the Vikings feel like they could beat anyone, maybe except for the 49ers.
Well, let's ask you about, of course, Sam Darnold. Are Viking fans feeling good about Sam Darnold? Are they excited? Are they skeptical, or what? After he played so well in week one.
Yeah, I think that it is timid belief. Maybe put it that way, because, well, I mean, it was the New York Giants. So you're talking about maybe a team that could draft in the top 5 this year, not exactly somebody that you're using as a measuring stick type of team. Well, that's where the 49ers come in. And I don't think that Sam Darnold has to beat the 49ers for Vikings fans to buy in, but he does have to play well against them to where you think, well, maybe this could be kind of a fun season with Sam Darnold. The fan base overall is in a little bit of a weird place because, everyone's waiting for J.J. McCarthy to play, but he's not going to play for next year. And they're waiting for the team to build around with the salary cap space of a rookie contract, J.J. McCarthy in next year's free agency, and maybe draft a defensive tackle next year. That's a lot of what the conversation is about. But, there's 16 more games to play with Sam Darnold. So I think what everyone wants this season to be is, A, entertaining. Maybe you get a few Sam Darnold games where he beats somebody that he's not supposed to beat. And the other thing is just to show signs of belief in Kevin O'Connell and the offense that they're building here for when J.J. McCarthy takes over. So it's a bit of an odd place to be because of that.
Matt, I remember looking at the schedule before the season and after the Giants game, it looked like you guys had a kind of a tough schedule the next 6 or 7 weeks. So how important was it for you to grab that first win? And is it in-house there? Are you looking at the next 6 weeks as like an uphill climb?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was enormous. If they lost that game, I know that week one can't put a season to an end, but it would have felt like it. Because when you're talking about San Francisco this week and then the Houston Texans next week, we'll see what Jordan Love's status is. They go to Green Bay after that. Then they have the Jets in London, Detroit, Los Angeles. I mean, these are all teams that have very high expectations and a lot of talent, and you're just not going to run over those teams. And I think if you're the Vikings, if Sam Darnold gets behind the 8 ball, what we've seen before in his history is I think that he loses confidence at times. We could blame offensive lines and wide receivers and bad coaching of his career before, but the tendency for him is he'll get rolling a little bit, but as soon as he hits a stumbling block, he falls on every single stumbling block. So I think it's important for him to get some momentum going, get some trust for Kevin O'Connell, get a touchdown pass, to Justin Jefferson and an explosive play, 44-yard throw to him, and start to build that trust between them and start to believe in himself a little bit, because I think we landed on a guy here who's been beat up quite a bit by the NFL, and they are actually able to give him one of the best positions that they can here. But if you lose 3 games in a row, then we might run into the same thing that's happened to Darnold before, where he gets in that rut and can't get out. So I think that it is important for him to play well in this game, maybe get 1 out of the next 3 just to go into that London game in week 5 at 2-2 and feel like you've kind of survived the toughest part of the schedule.
Catching up with Matthew Coller from the Purple Insider Vikings beat reporter. Matthew, the 49ers have their heaviest investments in the front four, and like a lot of teams, everything with their defense, of course, starts with getting pressure on the quarterback. So long story short, what is the state of the Vikings offensive line right now?
Well, they have 2 of the best tackles in the NFL, and last week they faced Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns and made them completely irrelevant with Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill. Now, that will not happen with Nick Bosa. Last year, Nick Bosa, I didn't even think took over the game. I looked back, he had 6 pressures. I was like, man, that's like a bad game for that guy. So they know that he's going to be a problem, and they're going to try everything that every other team tries to stop him that never works. But at least they can hang on for dear life against him. And Christian Darrisaw is just, other than Trent Williams, probably the best player at that position in the NFL. So they feel like they're in great shape with the tackles. They could trust them. But the interior, the right guard and center are just catastrophic. Last week, at right guard, Ed Ingram allowed more pressures than anybody else in the NFL at guard last week and had the lowest PFF grade, which, after watching the tape back, can agree with the folks at PFF. Very strongly agree, actually. It was one of the worst performances by a guard I have seen, and this team has had a lot of bad guards in recent years. So that is a disaster. And I wonder, because Ed Ingram showed up, he's the right guard on the injury report, I wonder if they might decide to go with somebody else behind him, because it was really that bad last week. So I think that's what we're all kind of watching for, is can they survive the interior pressure of the San Francisco 49ers, because they're still, across that line is so dangerous, because if they can, and Sam Darnold gets time to throw, the guy has a cannon. He could throw the ball as well as anybody in the NFL, but he does hold on to the ball a little too long. He does have happy feet sometimes, and if you're pressuring up the middle like Dexter Lawrence did about 20 times, it felt like last week, it can be a problem big time for Sam Darnold.
Hey, Matt, Aaron Jones absolutely gouged the 49ers last year. Going into this week, what do you think the plan is for Aaron Jones attacking this 49ers defense?
I think that they desperately need Aaron Jones to have weeks like that, like he did against the Giants, week after week after week, to play off of, not just play action, but also just the threat of it. It was really, really effective last week. I think what we saw, number one, from Aaron Jones is that he may be on the wrong side of the running back age curve, but he has not lost a step. When this man is healthy, he is as explosive as anybody in the league. I don't think if he ran a 40 against the fastest running backs, he would win against too many. But when we're talking about in a 5-yard type of area, when he needs to dodge a tackler, his vision is unbelievable. This is a guy who over his career has averaged about 6 yards per carry against the Vikings. So already we had a ton of respect for him, and then he was dominant against the Giants. It needs to be that way, though, because the more you put Sam Darnold in third down and long and in tough situations, well, that's it, the more that Nick Bosa just starts, feasting on everything around him, and you don't want that. So I think that Aaron Jones is incredibly important to the success, and at least the early returns have looked excellent from him. He had a really good training camp, and it's all about his health, but he came out of week 1 healthy, and I think that he is really their most, outside of Justin Jefferson, their most dangerous asset on offense.
Yeah, this kind of follows up on that, Matt, a little bit. Bill Belichick always said he's going to take the one guy out he thinks it can hurt him, and he's going to take him out. And you'd think that people would do that against the Vikings with a Justin Jefferson. Have you seen that approach from other teams? And why would that not work if they tried that?
For 4 years, I've seen that approach of every single team the Vikings play. Every single defensive coordinator has their own unique plan, and sometimes it means 3 guys with their backs turned looking at him. I think number one, you're talking about a guy who runs a 4.4 and is about as good at jumping up and getting the football as anybody. So he can run by people. He can rise up over people. His technical route running is absolutely unbelievable. He doesn't even have to be open to be open. Last week they were trying to double team him at times, and he just ran by somebody, juked somebody. And the other part of it too is Kevin O'Connell, when he's up at night at 4:00 in the morning watching tape, as all head coaches do, you know what he's trying to figure out? How can I get Justin Jefferson open? That is what the entire offense is. How can I get Justin Jefferson open? And when the other team does dedicate 3 people to him, how can I get somebody else open? And that has worked incredibly well. There's never been an answer for him. throughout his entire career. And I've only seen him really slow down a couple of times. So, I think it's a mixture of not only his unbelievable talent, but also the fact that he has a head coach that the strongest part of Kevin O'Connell is his ability in the passing game. He worked with Sean McVay. He came from that tree, and you really see it. The same way with Cooper Kupp. Why can't they ever stop Cooper Kupp? I don't know, man, because they know how to dial it up, and I think Kevin O'Connell's really good at that.
Hey, Matthew, before we let you go, let me ask you, am I right here? What I hear you saying, you're being very respectful of the 49ers and you're being very humble, but I sense, and I understand it if it's true, that you and the Vikings have a pretty good amount of confidence going into this game. Is that an accurate assessment for this matchup this week?
Well, I think when you beat the tar out of somebody, you go into the week and go, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this Vikings roster that, there's so much attention for the quarterback position, and obviously that makes sense to me. But when you go through, it's so many proven and veteran players. You go through the defensive side and you have guys like Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, who are not really household names, but you're talking about Grenard had 12 sacks last year. Van Ginkel has been such an effective all-around player for a long time. They brought in Stephon Gilmore, who looked great last week. I mean, a lot of things have come together for them to be, I think, stronger as a total roster, not the quarterback position, than maybe people thought going in when they were picking them last. But I don't think they're on the same level as the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, it's a team that was in the Super Bowl. It expects to be in the Super Bowl every year that they have this group of players. I mean, how many teams can you say have 3 or 4 guys that are the best player at their position in the whole league? Well, you could say it for San Francisco. So this is the bar. I mean, right? This is who you measure yourself against. It's great that they beat the Giants. They are not very good at football at all. So now, how do you look against the real team? I think that's what we're interested in finding out. But I mean, nobody here is picking the Vikings to beat the 49ers, though.
Matthew Coller from the Purple Insider. Thanks, Matthew. We appreciate it. Enjoy the game. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
All right, you're very welcome. So, yeah, there's a lot of confidence in Minnesota.
Yeah, a little quiet confidence there.
That's what I sensed, and I don't blame them. I think they got I think they have a really good roster.
Yeah.
And we focus, like he said, on the quarterback. Oh, Sam Darnold, he's no good, so they're no good. But that's a pretty good team. I think they're going to be better than the Bears.
I should have talked to him before my fantasy draft. I didn't take JJ, and I should have taken JJ.
Who'd you take instead? Who do you have?
Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, well.
And then I traded him.
Well, that was a good move.
Yeah, I thought it was.
That's Phantom. When we come back, we're going to find out from Phantom, an original season ticket holder for the Kings, what he thinks of our Kings Top 40. Also, we'll look at the latest name to pop up in the Warriors star search. Next with the Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Hello, I'm Frank Ockel with the Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. Retirement readiness reporting is usually focused on the baby boomer generation, born 1956 through 1964. Well, Generation X turning 59 and a half this year is becoming a concern for them. Generation X is the generation born between 1965 and 1981 and is apparently lagging those that came before and those that have come after in retirement readiness. 62% of Gen X feels retirement confidence compared to 82% of baby boomers and 77% of millennials. Part of the preparedness may be due to not looking for help, as only 40% of Gen X use a financial advisor compared to 54% of millennials and boomers. While time may be running short to close the retirement readiness gap, hope is not lost. Investment in the S&P 500 has averaged gains of 10.2% over the past 10 years. This would mean that an investment approximately 7 years ago could have more than doubled in its time frame. While investment in stock-related investments poses risk, so could inactivity. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic FA Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic FA is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic FA.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's majestic golden eagles and other less majestic birds taunting you through the baseball-sized hole in your new windows. It's soaring guitar solos performed through faulty wiring in your garage, which subsequently erupts into flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, venues, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
When shopping for a new car, what do you want? A great selection? A low monthly payment? More for your trade? At Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, you get it all.
Model year-end savings are going on now. It's savings you just can't say no to.
Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's L1 report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
I've always believed that golf is more than just a game. It embodies integrity, commitment, and a sense of style. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa, and I'd like to tell you a bit about Naturewood Home Furnishings, a business that shares these same values. With the Procore Championship Professional Golf Tournament happening at the stunning Silverado Resort in Napa, I couldn't help but notice the parallels. Just like the game of golf, Naturewood has built its reputation on integrity, commitment, and timeless style. Looking to bring a unique style into your home? Naturewood offers custom certified designers who can help you craft the perfect look tailored just for you. And while you're enjoying the elegance of the tournament this week, along with Napa's world-class wine and food, be sure to visit Naturewood Home Furnishings. You'll discover pieces with the same sophistication and quality as the game itself. Who knows? You might even find an heirloom that will be passed down for generations. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Just look for the water wheel.
We head out to the Silverado Resort in Napa and take you to the Procore Championship, which right now we just had a lead change. As Pat Kazire just jumped in front of David Lipsky. He is now 13 under through 2 rounds, shooting a 65 today. David Lipsky is in the clubhouse, and actually he's still on the set. He's still on the course as he is on the set through 17, so he's still on the 18th. He is in at 12 under right now. Haven't shot a 65 yesterday. JJ Spahn and Matt Kuchar appears on the leaderboard as he is 9 under, and he is right now through 12. He is shooting so far he shot a 70 yesterday, and he is shooting a 3 under today, making a big move. Rafael Campos rounds out the top 5. That is your coverage of the Procore tournament. Is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices, always about quality. Now more with Phantom and Whitey, the Drive Guys, coming up right now.
We're not arguing here, but I was telling this pathetic story about.
I love this story.
Why? Well, I thought I saw Bo Bridges, not Jeff Bridges, but Bo Bridges. I was like, it's just like, that's Bo Bridges. And we went back to our room, and I'm looking up on my phone. Is there any reason why Bo Bridges would be in Kauai? And Sheena asked me, what are you doing? I said, yeah, I thought I saw Bo Bridges. And she said, oh, yeah, I saw him. So it was Bo Bridges. I guess he spends a lot of time there. But you said you don't think you'd recognize someone famous?
I don't. That's one of my fears. I think I'd be, because you see these people. There's a paparazzi shot of somebody walking out of a restaurant. So I don't even know if I was next to him, if I know that's who they were.
But
I don't think I'd recognize
something
people.
I've noticed. You don't think that. But when you see somebody, it's like, boom. Someone who's been on TV all the time, whoever it is, Bo Bridges, I know, not the greatest example. Bless him, he's had a fine career. But when you
Yes,
see
he
me like
has.
that, you're like, whoa, you know them right
Okay,
away.
maybe.
Because they're so familiar.
Right, but most of the time though, aren't like actors are much shorter than you think they'd be. Most
I
actors
guess
are
so.
short, and they're small. They're like normal sized people, and they're outsized when you watch them on your screens, and you see them, and they're just kind of like small people.
Have you ever, I guess that's the test, have you ever run into somebody?
I don't know. That's why I'm afraid I've missed
never
them.
done it, then maybe, yeah.
Well, maybe I have, though. I might have missed them.
Jay, haven't you, when you see someone famous, and I know you hang with famous people, but when you see somebody, you know, right?
Phantom and Whitey.
You recognize them instantly. It's
Yeah.
like, boom.
Well, it depends on the
Yeah.
situation. If
That's Lionel Richie.
Well,
Whoever.
Well, yeah, I would know Lionel Richie.
So what are you saying?
think
Is there
maybe I
a
would be.
demographic of people you wouldn't
He's
know?
afraid.
Age
I don't know.
bracket?
Jay, I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just
He's
afraid
that he wouldn't recognize them. And I think most people in this
Yeah.
day and age, and you're, you know, you watch a lot of TV,
Yes,
right?
I do.
I think you would,
because I'm
boom.
old. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Sandra
Absolutely.
Bullock is walking down the street.
Yes.
You would know who Sandra Bullock is.
I think I would, but maybe I wouldn't. I know.
I thought you said your eyesight is great.
It is great. I had cataracts or everything. But
John Lithgow, you mean? There's John Lithgow.
well, John Lithgow, yeah. I mean, who would care? But yeah, that's John Lithgow. He's a Trinity killer. Come on, are you kidding me?
I think you would. But it sounds like you
I
haven't
have to
noticed
go
him,
try
maybe
this.
you
I have to go some famous place where famous people hang out and try to.
would. Okay. All right.
I just don't think I would.
Yeah. Do you recognize this as a potentially good move for the Warriors? You know, they have been looking for that next star to add to the mix for a while now. They're in on Lauri Markkanen. They were in on Paul George. Now, according to Sam Amick, who was on the TK podcast, he says the Warriors have interest in Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler can be a free agent after next year. You know, the Warriors are hamstrung financially. They couldn't pursue free agents. But if there's somebody who's not going to sign with his club and he's going to be a free agent, then they could, you know, figure out something in the trade market. What do you think of Jimmy Butler as a fit for the star-seeking Warriors?
Well, he would fit in that sense that he would be a star. They're seeking stars, but I mean, if he's got only 1 year left, would they have to give him an extension then if they traded for?
I would assume so. You'd have to work out something.
And
like that.
how much longer is Steph going to be around? I mean, do I want to
That's a
extend
good
Jimmy
question.
Butler for 4 years if Steph's going to be around for 2? I don't know.
He's going to be around for 3. Don't you think, Jay? How long is Steph Curry going to be around?
Yeah, give him 3. He's in the
Okay, then
contract,
I
right?
know
maybe
that-
I would explore.
If
I
you
don't
look
know
at his
if
age,
he's.
you might be in, but I bet you he will.
I don't know if he's the perfect
He's a
fit,
shooter.
but you're right. They've been looking for stars, and they got that noise you were making for the first two. Yeah, that one. They lost 2 guys already, so maybe you go ahead and you get what you can get. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because so far their star search has been kind of like mine. Like there's John Lithgow, there's Bo Bridges. They need a talent upgrade.
I have John Lithgow, Bo Bridges. I think John Lithgow is a little bit more famous than Bo Bridges. Now, if you said Jeff Bridges, you might have an argument.
Yeah.
I would recognize him.
John Lithgow and Jeff Bridges, the old man, season 2.
Yes, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. Okay. Jimmy Butler, I don't know that he'd be a good fit there. To me, it smacks a little bit of desperation.
Yes.
The Warriors, like, well, who's the biggest name is available? Literally, who's the biggest name who might be available? Well, Jimmy Butler. Great, let's get him.
Yeah, because the clock is ticking.
Yes.
Whether it's the 3 years that you guys are giving him or just 2 or whatever, the clock is ticking. We got to get somebody.
Yeah.
And maybe you can't afford to be paid. Well, maybe Jimmy Butler would be okay, but let's wait and see what else. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a what else.
What did you think of the moves they did make? Okay, Clay's gone, but they brought in Kyle Anderson, whom your son ridiculed.
Yes, he
publicly
did.
and heckled.
Yes, at the
And they
game,
got
yes.
the guard from, not Milton, I'm sorry. Who's the guard they got that used to be with the Grizzlies? And then they also got Buddy Hield.
I'm not overwhelmed by those additions.
Milton. They got Milton, right? The Warriors, didn't they get Milton?
I don't think it was Milton. I apologize. Continue, Phantom.
I'm just saying.
You may be right, Jay.
Buddy Hield has been moving around. Maybe he would, if he can do what Buddy Hield does when he's Buddy Hield, he will help them. But he's not, he's not a big splash or anything. You're not going to make up. Although, what Clay was doing when he, last year, I don't know he was contributing all that much more.
Anthony Melton.
Anthony Melton. Okay, yeah.
Pardon. Yeah.
Fine player.
Mm-hmm.
Fine
Good player.
Yeah.
Had some back problems.
But as you say, they're in a superstar search, and that doesn't fill the bill.
Mm-hmm. So to me, they're a team that right now, if everything goes right for them, they might win around what they did last year.
Right.
46.
And in the
or
West,
so.
it's just not. That's I don't think they would. Well, okay, let's say they would.
I mean, that's why I'm saying if everything goes well.
That's best case scenario, yeah. And that's just not. That's the no man's land in the West. 42 through 46 is no man's land now.
Mm-hmm. How about DeMar DeRozan with the Kings?
And
how about this? I tried to get DeMar DeRozan on our top 40 Kings of 40 years. Jay would not allow it.
Oh, that's just short-sighted right there.
No.
Not about what you're going to do. It's about what you can do.
You're with me?
That's a tremendous move right there.
That must be the same household talking here.
That's a tremendous move right there. My only worry is that they got him and they got better, but did they just get better as much as they had to keep pace with everybody else in the West?
Right, I see what you're saying.
It's just a situation.
You don't improve in a vacuum.
No, you do not.
Up with everybody else.
They did what they had to do to stay where they were, but does that get him into the next level of teams? I don't think it does, but I think it's a great move.
Both Kyle Draper and your friend Jerry Reynolds say, the Kings are going to win 50 games this year. You don't seem sold.
Yeah,
I'm not sold.
He leaned back a little bit.
Possibility, but I'm not. 50 wins in a very competitive West that's a big number. That's a big number. I know. I always go with Jerry.
Sounds like you're not going with Jerry this time.
No, I might split. I might give Jerry a 48 burger. I don't think I'm going to go 50.
48 is pretty much flat. I mean, yeah.
But that's what I think they've done.
Sounds like, and I'm not coming after you, but it sounds like you're not overwhelmed by DeMar DeRozan.
I'm not overwhelmed. I'm impressed. I mean,
not that much, apparently.
Well,
am I right, Jay? I mean,
doesn't seem so.
I see. No, it's group.
But 48,
new guy, and put the new guy down.
In defense, 48 is a hell of a season.
Yes, it is. That's what I said. But now I'm getting yelled at.
I mean, they went 2 years ago.
48?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then last year?
What, 46?
Yeah. 48. So
it's a 2-game improvement.
Well, you're still flat.
Yeah.
You're over 2 years ago. So it doesn't sound like you.
Is there somebody then to bounce you up into the next tier? Because I think they're in a certain tier, and there's 2 or 3 teams that are a tier. I mean, Denver and Oklahoma City, and whoever you put in that one tier. But I don't think they can jump into that one. At least for me, the DeRozan edition does not put them in that group.
How'd the Kings get better, good enough to win 50 games? We'll tell you when we come right back. And we got to get Phantom to look at our top 40 list. It's the Drive Guys with Phantom today, Sactown Sports.
High voltage live boxing action returns to Northern California Saturday, September 21st at the venue at Thunder Valley with Thunder Showdown featuring the undefeated 12th ranked welterweight in the world, Maury Jones, plus Alan Sanchez versus Sal Briseno, and 8 more exciting undercard fights with Maribel Guerrero, Blake McKernan, Gabriel Garcia, Anthony Hernandez, Ruben Torres, Alexander Espinoza, and more. Don't miss the Thunder Showdown September 21st at Thunder Valley. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Quick card subject to change.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Silverado savings spectacular now at Maida Chevy with $13,000 off MSRP. Every new Silverado half-ton LTZ in stock after rebates. $12,500 off every Silverado half-ton high country after rebate. And $11,000 off all new Silverado half-ton RSTs exclusively at Maida Chevy at MaidaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters.
Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Maida Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing and lease and some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer. Ends 9/30/24.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade-in at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When it comes to fighting for families and protecting kids, no one works harder than our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover. A member of the Bipartisan Problem Solvers Caucus, Hoover has worked across party lines and proposed tougher penalties for fentanyl crimes, stricter sentences for drug trafficking near schools, and RILA's law to make sure anyone who abuses a child is held accountable. A former school board member, Josh has fought to support school police officers, prohibit homeless encampments near schools, and increase funding for school facilities. Josh Hoover knows that families have been paying more for everything from gas and groceries to utilities and insurance. In the Assembly, Josh is working to provide relief to families, reduce the cost of housing, and stop Gavin Newsom from raising gas prices even more next year. Josh Hoover is making a difference for our families, our community, and our future. Our voice, our Assemblyman, Josh Hoover.
Paid for by Hoover for Assembly 2024.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Phantom with us today. Drapes has a football game he's doing tomorrow night. Let's see if Phantom remembers. We have a text here, Phantom. I'm not sure who it's from. 916. Phantom, I'll never forget your catch when you were pitching in a celebrity softball game. The ball came right back at you and the ball game was over.
That's right, yeah.
You remember that?
I remember getting a line drive and turning two, and you were shortstop. And we turned, I think we might even
y'all were the
turned
battery?
a triple play.
Yes.
We had a triple play.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yes. We dominated the radio against TV softball game.
Who was the
I think
station?
we were undefeated.
It was Walt Gray's game, so it was just radio against TV.
Oh, okay, so everybody, man, where was I at during
you
that time?
and me and Justin, we were the MVPs.
Yeah, we were the MVPs.
Yes.
Co-MVPs.
Yeah. I've looked in the building there every so often. There's trophies, and I was like, hey, I wonder if that's our trophy, but I haven't found it.
I haven't found it. Yeah. I don't know.
I didn't want it.
It was a while ago. I probably took it. I don't know. Yeah, those were great games. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you remember the triple play we turned in with the radio station team? And it wasn't a celebrity game, but it was around the horn.
Was it a 3-2 third, second, first
Yes.
triple play? Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
But whenever I think of our team, I think of our third baseman, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. And the great Sparky Anderson.
Yes. We had a player, Jay, if I may tell this story. We had a player, bless him, he had one hand, and he only had a left hand, and he was a fine player. And for some reason on the softball team, they played him at third base. Okay?
I didn't ask
to be. Guy who only had a left
hand and he played third base?
Yeah. And one time, Phantom and I were doing an interview with Sparky Anderson.
Anderson.
All-time great manager.
He was amazing.
And he had a book out, so we're talking about the Tigers and this and that. I say, Sparky, before you go, we got a softball team here, and we have a gentleman on the team. He's a great guy, wonderful guy, and he only has one hand, and he's playing third base. What do you think? Sparky, you're the great manager all the time. What do you think of that? And he goes, I don't know if you have any rehab facilities out there in Sacramento.
Come on.
But whoever is managing your team needs to check in. That's what he said. Yes.
Yeah.
That's a true story. Yeah. That's
Come on. The great Sparky.
The great Sparky Anderson. Yes.
Absolutely great Sparky. He nailed it. A little mental health problem there we had with the manager.
Who was the manager?
I honestly don't remember.
Don't remember either.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I might remember, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Phantom, in order for so you do remember that. Great.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, lots of nice things people are saying. And then the other stuff, I'm not going to read it.
That's okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
I told my wife not to text.
The Kings, in order to be better next year, one thing I think they have to do, it's simple, right? It's simple. The Kings last year were third in the NBA in three-point attempts.
Okay.
Top two were Boston and Dallas. Kings were third.
Yes.
In percentage, the Kings were 16th. That's not a formula for efficient offense.
Make more threes.
Yes. Or shoot fewer. And I don't think they're going to, they might do that with DeMar DeRozan, but
that's
you're going to shoot that many. You just have to make more. And that's how you get back. And
look at the genius. Look at the big brain on Whitey.
It's as simple as making more free throws too.
Yeah.
Which is kind of
wasn't there percentage near the bottom of
woefully low,
or
Phantom.
the bottom of the NBA.
I believe it was woefully low.
Woefully
so,
low.
You know, they've got to shoot the ball better.
Well, DeRozan will help on both those. I mean, he was one of those guys.
He'll get to the line
we
for
talk
you.
about all the time when we were doing shows with Jerry about guys who get buckets. Back in the day, like a Dale Ellis or like a Rolando Blackman, they didn't rely on the threes. They just got buckets dependably. I think that's what DeMar DeRozan is. He's just a guy out there who gets buckets and gets to the line as well.
Gets to the line, makes his free throws.
Yeah.
Not a great three-point shooter, but as you mentioned, Jerry pointed out that from the corners, if you look at his numbers, they're not bad.
Hasn't Jerry outlawed the corner three? He's been on a
He would if he
He's
could.
been on a crusade to do that for years.
But and I'm not coming after you here. I am. It sounds like you're not necessarily as impressed with DeMar DeRozan's addition here. You don't think it's necessarily going to improve them that much.
It will improve them enough to keep pace with everybody else and maybe a little bit more. I don't think it'll jump them to the next tier of teams.
Mm-hmm. Is there something lacking in the roster that you think would help them do that? Or you just think it's a matter of it's just tough in the West?
It's tough in the West, and obviously defensively, you can always, improve defensively. And as you point out, make more shots would be nice.
Mm-hmm. From the 707, if Kevin Huerter bounces back and Keon Ellis isn't a flash in the pan, Kings win 50 games. Kevin Huerter's a key to this season.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a huge deal that Kevin Huerter does bounce back. I might give you those extra 2 games and take you from 48 to 50 because if he bounces back, you play enough to make a difference and hits enough shots, that'll improve that percentage that you were talking about. So, yeah, that would be a market improvement.
I think Keon Ellis, I'm sold on him. He's a player.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a fluke.
No, I don't think so either. The things that he does, keep doing those things. You don't lose that.
Now, 3-point shooting can be a bit volatile. You don't know for sure he's going to shoot as high a percentage as he did. But I think he's a guy that if they're not going in, keep shooting him because he's a good shooter.
And he'll work on it. Yeah.
He has an impact on the game defensively in a way that not a lot of Kings have had recently.
And that would improve that.
There you go.
That's how you improved in not leaps and bounds, but small increments. And you got DeMar, that helps a little. You get Huerter back, he helps a little. Ellis Keys a better defense, that helps a little. It all adds up.
Mm-hmm. Who scares you the most in the West? The obvious,
Oklahoma
Dallas?
City.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Oklahoma City. They're just.
Jay asked us earlier what scared you?
Yeah.
You got anything from Australia?
I said
Sharks.
Australia, but I forgot about Oklahoma City.
Yes, in the West, it's Oklahoma City Thunder.
And not recognizing celebrities on the streets.
That shouldn't scare you.
It does.
It scares you?
It concerns me.
Concerns you.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think as much as you watch TV and read magazines and you're on your tablet, I think you're definitely
on a tablet a lot. Yeah.
All right, Phantom.
On my Kindle.
We asked an esteemed panel and we weren't able to get you, I don't remember if we couldn't get a hold of you or we didn't ask you, but whatever it is,
that's okay.
We didn't have you on the panel. I know we talked about having you on the panel.
Jay talked about it.
Jay did talk about it, and I talked about it with Jay.
With Jay. So
yes.
Not a lot of talk.
We had Gary Gerald, Bobby Gerald. I'm not going to be able to remember everybody. Matt George.
So me, P. Youngman, Mr. and Mrs. Sign Lady.
Yeah.
We
those are all
folks.
good candidates.
Staff here. Carmichael Dave wouldn't do it.
Right.
Well, I would have been offended had he done it, and I was not consulted.
So here's top 40. Stop me at any point if you wish to. Going from number 40, Danny Ainge, John Salmons, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Francisco Garcia, Olden Polynice, Brian Grant, 35.
I thought Francisco would be higher than Olden Polynice. Yeah, I really liked his contributions through a long time that he was here.
I believe Jay weighted our picks, and I don't think I had Cisco on my list.
Yeah, it's Whitey's
fair
fault.
Fair enough. Yeah, we disagree. That's okay.
35, I said Brian Grant. Keegan Murray, Hito Turkoglu, Kenny Smith, Scott Pollard, number 30, Tank Thompson. Are you surprised that Keegan's so high? Some people had an issue with that.
I really thought that Brian Grant would have been a little bit higher than, what is he, 35?
35.
Yeah. I mean, I know Kenny Smith won a slam dunk contest, but I don't know that the team was pretty miserable when he was on it. Yeah. Nice to see Tank in there too.
Yeah. But so far, so good, right?
All
for
right.
the most part. Number 29, Walt Williams, Jason Thompson.
Okay.
Buddy Hield, Malik Monk, Isaiah Thomas, Corliss Williamson, Spud Webb, Otis Thorpe, Harrison Barnes. Working backwards here. We're at number 20.
Yeah, that's pretty respectable, I think. Yeah. Maybe I was a little surprised about Corliss being that high. But
are you the one that came up with the name Scoreless Williamson?
I am, and
people call him that a lot.
Yeah, they do.
I was first on that one.
You might have been, huh?
I think so. Yeah. Probably after a particularly tough night.
We were going to try to get him on the show, and now I don't. Yeah.
He didn't text me back. There's a reason he didn't text me back.
Yeah, Jay has gotten a whole bunch of these guys on, but he can't get Corliss to respond. Number 20, L Train.
Yeah, I was worried that you wouldn't give him enough credit, but yeah, top 20 is good.
Eddie Johnson.
Yes, Eddie Johnson.
Who was supposed to be on today, wasn't he? But
no, next week.
Next week.
Yeah,
we moved him.
We'll move him.
18, Rudy Gay. 17, Tyreek Evans. 16, Ron Artest.
Okay.
15, Jason Williams, who some say he may have thought he should have been higher.
Probably, and he said that too, in a roundabout way.
I should fit him the text.
Yeah,
there, so
it's very funny.
14, Wayman Tisdale. 13, Kevin Martin. 12, Bobby Jackson. 11, Brad Miller. Then we have the top 10.
Okay, there's a name I'm thinking of, but I don't know that if you've already said it or if he's top 10. Otis Thorpe.
Where did Otis Thorpe?
22.
22. Yeah.
Okay, I just missed him there. I was probably thinking about who was 24.
Right.
Otis Thorpe, I think, needs to be way up there.
Yeah. So
big Otis Thorpe fan.
And this has been announced, I know, but we'll get Phantom's view on the top 10, and we'll get to the latest on Christian McCaffrey and the 49ers taking on the Vikings when we come right back for the final hour. Can you believe it's only 1 hour left? Can you believe it?
Let's just do a half hour.
It's whatever we do. It's next on Sactown Sports.
Ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's the home opener for Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday, 6 p.m. kickoff versus Nichols. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Even in a broken Washington, one person delivers results. Our Congressman Kevin Kiley. Working across party lines, Kevin Kiley has helped pass bipartisan bills to lower prices for gas, groceries, and utilities, provide tax relief for the victims of recent wildfires and storms, and to protect Lake Tahoe today and for future generations. Kiley has secured millions of federal dollars to ease traffic on our roads, expand our water supply, and protect our homes and communities from wildfires. And because he believes public safety comes first, Kevin Kiley is working to crack down on repeat offenders, retail thieves, and fentanyl dealers who prey on our youth. Kevin Kiley is always ready to work across party lines to get things done, and never afraid to take on the establishment in Washington or Sacramento when that's what's needed to protect our quality of life. Delivering results. That's Kevin Kiley. Let's keep him working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley, and I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK-AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
We're into the Silverado Resort out in Napa, California. Familiar spot for Phantom and Whitey. We look at the scoreboard here at the Procore tournament. Pat Kazire leads everyone with 13 under. He is finally through his second round today, shooting 65, following a 66 yesterday. He has a one-shot lead over David Lipsky of America, United States, I should say. He's in the clubhouse with a 12 under, shot a 67 today, following a 65. JJ Spahn is third, and he is tied with Matt Kuchar all of a sudden. As Matt Kuchar has just birdied to 14. They both sit at 10 under. JJ shot a 65 today, bringing up the rear. In fifth place, I should say, is Patrick Fishburne. He's in the clubhouse at 9 under. That is your Procore tournament Updated is brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Now more of the Drive Guys, or should I say AKA the Rise Guys.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Yeah, Flashback Friday with Phantom Drapes on assignment. We asked Phantom to suggest some songs that Jay could play for a Flashback Friday, but it was like Benny Goodman and stuff. Glenn Miller, some real good swing
Glenn Miller
stuff.
had some stuff.
Might drop a Glenn Miller in here.
He dropped some bars.
Yeah. We said something a little more contemporary. He says, all right. Yeah. They came back with some Dean Martin.
Yes, I did. And
that's contemporary, yeah.
Yeah. Tony Bennett.
Did you say Old Blue Eyes?
Old Blue Eyes,
yeah.
Chairman of the board.
Here is a nominee for Text of the Day. 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Never saw MacGruber. Tried watching it on Peacock and realized it was a sequel to the original. Ordered Apple TV because I wanted to see the original. They still won't let me see it without an additional rental fee. That was 28 minutes ago. I have no idea what that's about. Where that comes
the original MacGruber? There was.
I have no.
MacGruber's a sequel.
We weren't even talking about MacGruber.
I don't think we would.
So I don't know where that came from.
Maybe it's a remnant from another show.
It's not. I can tell that it's not that.
But maybe the other person heard it and they were impaired, and they just decided to come back with it.
Here we have from the 916 talking about the NBA. Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, OKC are the 4 contenders in the West. Memphis and Phoenix playoff locks are between the contenders in the next tier. LAC, LA Lakers, New Orleans, Sacramento, Houston, Golden State fighting for the play-in. The others, San Antonio, Portland, Utah, one could surprise and make a play-in push. They didn't put their name on it, but what do you think of that?
It sounded like they had the Kings in the 3rd tier.
Had the Kings in that, fighting for the play-in.
Yeah, they had Phoenix and somebody else behind the first 4. I don't know that.
Memphis and Phoenix between the contenders in the next tier. Beyond the big 4, Denver, Minnesota, Dallas, and OKC.
I think an improving Kings could get up into with those 2, because I'm not giving those 2 the next 2 spots right away.
Mm-hmm. The teams that scare me, you mentioned OKC. Memphis scares me sometimes. I think Memphis has a chance to be much improved this year.
Yes, they definitely do.
I think they're kind of a sleeping giant.
Yeah,
you with me?
I mean, they got job back, so yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. All right, Phantom. We promised we were going to get your reaction, and we'll get to the 49ers and Vikings coming up. Top 40 players in Sacramento Kings history. We're down to the top 10.
All right.
You said so far
not
you
bad.
Could sign up on this list.
You got Otis in there. You got Eddie Johnson. You got LaSalle in there. And you gave Lionel Simmons his due, which I thought was good.
Definitely. You thought Francisco Garcia
I thought Francisco might have been a little higher because of the duration of his service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 10. And he said it was an honor to be listed as number 10. Reggie Theus.
Absolutely. Got to have
10?
Reggie. Yes.
I didn't have him that high.
I definitely would have. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 9, Doug Christie.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Doug
he's
was
on the most successful team, and that's going to lift you up a little bit, but he obviously contributed a lot to those teams. He wasn't just hanging on.
Doug was a guy that when I just thought about the list, I thought, he'll probably be around in the middle, but when I actually put it down and compared him to people with everything he contributed, he just kept going higher and higher and higher on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 8, Domantas Sabonis.
Okay.
Just okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 7, Mike Bibby.
Again, that same team, he's going to be lifted up. He's hit some of the biggest shots in Kings history. So, yes.
I think I actually had Doug higher than Mike, but I had him right around there. Number 6, Vlade. 5, De'Aaron Fox. 4, DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes. Okay.
You okay with De'Aaron Fox at 5? You being going way back.
No, I do.
Days,
I mean, you got to recognize what he's accomplished as, here, and it's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That means number 3, Peja. 2, Mitch. 1, Chris Webber.
Well, 1 and 2 were, I think, a given.
I was surprised Peja was
thinking about it, I'm okay with it, though. I don't know that I would have DeMarcus ahead of Peja, and I don't think De'Aaron has been around long enough to be ahead of Peja. I mean, he may ascend, if this is a movable thing, he and DeMontis may both ascend a little bit more. I don't know that they're going to get into the top 2. But, I'm fine with Peja at number 3. Absolutely fine.
Probably better than we remember him.
I think so.
Because he was never 1A.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was an all-star.
He was talented enough
He was
to
very
be.
all-star, and he was like the greatest shooter in Kings history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something.
So you have one shot, and it doesn't matter, 2 or 3, whatever, but one shot that you need to make to win a game. One guy from Kings history, Sacramento Kings history.
I wish you wouldn't have asked me this,
Who you
because
do the
I
ball
was
to?
in the building in the game 7 when we had a couple of shots and they didn't go
Hey,
where they were
hey,
supposed
hey,
to go.
hey,
And one of the guys that I would have said is the guy taking one of those shots.
Oh.
So that would make it a little difficult on me. If it's a shot, I think for clutch, Gene, I think I might take Mike Bibby.
Okay.
But I think for shooting, I'm still gonna ride with Page.
I'm going either Mitch or Eddie Johnson.
Oh yeah, Eddie Johnson.
Anyway, that's Phantom's breakdown of the top 10 Sacramento Kings of Sacramento Kings history. They're coming up in their 40th year this year.
It pains me to say so. You guys did a good job.
Wow.
You know,
that's nice.
Really
You didn't
hurts. I think probably because Jay was running everything. That's probably
You did a great job.
how it came out so well, and you got great interviews and everything.
Yeah. Reggie Theus, when we talked to him a couple days ago, maybe you heard it, as we bid him adieu, he said, you know, he was getting dinner takeout at
Outback Steakhouse.
Outback, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, he had to wait for us to finish the interview before he ate. So he said, I apologize. It's sorry. Kept you from your dinner. And he said, all right, you guys owe me. He said, you need to get my number retired out there.
Oh, hey.
Jersey retired.
I don't know about that.
I hadn't thought about it, but when he said
24.
it, my first thought was, absolutely we do.
As a representative of the earliest team, maybe, yeah, you would. I get. I don't know. Jersey retires. It's a little bit different. I don't know if I have to think about that one.
It's okay.
I have to think. I can't rubber stamp that right away.
Okay.
I love Reggie on that first team. You know, he was.
Your standards are just higher?
I think so. I think if you're going to put your jersey up in the rafters, I mean, that's a huge honor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know
first King playoff team.
Yes.
First year. Best player on the first team
against Houston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Phantom's not signing up on
that. Team was pretty good. That Houston team that we took on was pretty good. No, not yet, but I'll think it over.
I think we're probably going to do it whether you give us the thumbs up.
Oh,
or
so
not.
you've already decided to do it then.
I think we are, aren't we, Jay? Are we going to go forward with
so
that?
He just said you guys got to get my number retired. You go, okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I think we might get behind it, but he comes behind Jerry Lucas, right?
I'm trying to get Jerry
Lucas.
Lucas.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
You're not excited about that
No.
either? No.
No.
See,
I'm not a big Jerry Lucas guy.
You're
Why not?
No, I'm just not. I'm sorry.
He went on Johnny Carson, memorized the phone book.
He did do the memory thing, yeah, which I don't know if people do that, get their jerseys retired or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you're 2 franchises removed, if you need to have your jersey put up. Maybe you do. I don't know.
Jerry Lucas is the only guy who's no longer playing, who's in the top 75 of all time, who doesn't have his number retired by any team.
Now, that is a disturbing fact.
Yeah.
That is disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, then let the Knicks do it.
They're not gonna, so we're gonna have to step in.
Wait, that's not a good.
They're not
do
gonna.
it.
He started with Cincinnati Royals.
Yeah.
I'm working on that. I came close last year. I found somebody who knew Jerry. We got in touch with Jerry indirectly, and he said he was following everything. So
Okay, here's the deal. You can get one of them. Jerry or Reggie?
I would go Reggie just because there's that whole thing that Jerry wore number 16 and it's already retired.
And Reggie has the actual Sacramento first team connection, which is a huge.
Yes. All right. Turning our attention to the National Football League weekend. We talked to a reporter from Minneapolis today. We know that Christian McCaffrey's not playing. We know that he may not be playing for a while yet. Are you feeling confident that the 49ers get to 2-0? No, Jay is very confident, even though the Vikings throttled them just last year.
Yes, I am. But you kind of called him on the carpet. You might be sent. He said he didn't think the Vikings were going to win, but it seems like maybe he thought they were. And you called him out on it. I thought you did a good job calling him out on it. He was he's talking about, the Giants, we beat the Giants. That's no big deal and everything.
Right.
But he said they did. And I can see you'd really get a jolt from winning the first game of the season on the road. They do have that killer schedule in front of them. So I think they have about as good a chance as they were going to have to win this game. They're in as good a place as they can be in to win this game, but I just don't think they will.
Expectations very low for them this year, especially when McCarthy went down and Sam Darnold was their quarterback. So this would be, and you made the point when we talked to our buddy Matt Coller, if they win this is a very big game for them. It's a huge opportunity. If they lose, it's like, okay, whatever. If they win this game, all of a sudden, Those purple chests are going to be puffed out.
And he said, we win one of the next 3 and go into that Jets game 2-2. We're feeling pretty good. So they are setting the sights a little bit low, but it is a killer schedule. And he also did mention, Sam Darnold, like to take shots at him, but a huge arm, he can make things happen.
But they're not going to sneak up on the 49ers, and they're not going to do what they did to the Niners next year. And we'll tell you why when we come right back to Sactown Sports.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Experience a golf tournament as refined as you are. The Procore Championship at Silverado Resort, September 12th through the 15th. Be there as the best of Napa meets the best of the PGA Tour. With world-class wine experiences, breathtaking views, and incredible golf. It's like this weekend was made for you. The Procore Championship, September 12th through the 15th. For tickets, go to ProcoreChampionship.com.
Hey, listen up. This is your Sactown Sports live events calendar. First in the lineup is the Lodi Grape Festival coming September 12th through the 15th. And then rock out to Zeppelin USA at Thunder Valley on September 19th. On September 20th, laugh your heart out with comedy superstar Nikki Glazer at Thunder Valley. And the laughs keep on coming on September 21st with George Lopez when he takes the stage at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. If you're a country fan, you won't want to miss Winona Judd at Hard Rock Live on September 28th. And then on October 4th, comedy legend Rob Schneider is bringing the laughs to Hard Rock Live Sacramento. On October 20th, you don't want to miss Renee Vaca as he brings his hilarious stand-up to the Crest Theater. And finally, gear up for the ultimate Halloween bash with a $5,000 costume contest. It's Sinners and Saints Saturday at Thunder Valley on Saturday, October 26th. Costumes, music, and plenty of thrills. And that's your Sactown Sports live events calendar. For details, go to SactownSports.com. And stay locked on to Sactown Sports for your chance to win tickets.
Don't stop now.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, your tickets for the Marysville Stampede, September 14th and 15th at MarysvilleStampede.com. You a big Stampede guy, rodeo guy now, Phantom?
I remember with fondness, we never had a bad rodeo interview back in the day. The guys were always 5'5", weighed 130 pounds, and were great.
They brought
interviews.
it on the radio.
They brought it. They were awesome.
Yeah. Phantom joining us today. Drape's on assignment, getting ready for a. Which game is he doing tomorrow?
The NYC Classic between Howard and Morehouse. So
there you go.
Historical Black HBCUs, balling on NBC. Drapes is an NBC guy, so he'll be calling that.
He's flying out tonight, right?
Last night, 11.
Last night,
right? It was 11.
Yeah, tonight be a little bit late. Yeah.
I thought it was tonight.
Yeah, he's flying out tonight. He could have done the show.
You're not lying.
Is that like at Yankee Stadium or something? I know that's been something like that.
No, it's in New Jersey. It's at the
regular
yeah.
place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you get a chance to watch that. Does he do a lot of football? I know he's done some.
He does. I know he did Pac-12 football. So I know he's dabbled the toe into the water. I'm not sure if a lot is the proper adjective, but I know he's done some football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Phantom, you being a Sac State guy, you excited about this news that Sac State's trying to get into
Pac-12.
the Pac-12 or the Mountain West?
I was going to say those Pac-12 jobs are kind of drying up.
Yeah.
So
they are.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that.
Really?
I mean, I know
Be
we
careful
always
again.
Everybody always wants to grab and go higher. It just seems like everybody's trying to play that musical chairs and trying to get into a higher conference. I really like the conference that Sac State is in now.
Really?
I know it's not Division I, bowl series or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a very competitive conference. It's got some of the best teams at that level in the country. I mean, they're always, highly rated and stuff. And I think success in that conference is big. I mean, it's prestigious. I know you always want to go where the grass is greener. You want to go where there's bigger schools. And yeah, I guess if there's an opening at the Mountain West or the Pac-12, but I don't know, Washington State, Sac State, it just doesn't.
But the school's profile will be raised, and
yes,
therefore so would the cities.
I guess so. I don't know.
Well,
isn't that the same thing we're talking about with the baseball team? Raising the city's profile a little bit?
A little bit, but the baseball team, like you said, they're coming here kind of on a borrowed basis. We're not sure there's a lot. They're not really going to be Sacramento, but Sac State, man.
Yeah.
And then, like Jay says, he's trying to get Davis in there too.
Well, I remember back in the day, Sac State being such a commuter school, at least back in the day, they didn't get a lot of support for the football. I know it's better now. And, that's a growth that, if they can keep going, but it just seems like to jump from where they are to the Pac-12, and I know it's not the old Pac-12, it just seems like a pretty big leap.
Yeah, Jay's going to come in here and slap you.
Well, it's
okay. Fine.
This the other thing too, though. Shoot high, fall low. Even if you get to the Mountain West, you still upgraded, right? So
yes,
I think
you
shoot for, as they're talking about the Sac-12, the Pac-12, even if you don't catch the Pac-12, which may be out of reach.
And
I understand
Pac-12
that.
ain't close to what it used to be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But now, Jay, you would know, if they move up a level, is there any, they have to sit out like a year? And
they have to go through the process.
Yeah,
In order, how it goes is you can't compete in the championship,
right,
meaning the playoffs, which we saw that with James Madison last year. They were balling up to a certain point. They couldn't, take part in the Final Four, which they didn't make it. But now that it's extended to the top 12, a team like James Madison last year might have fell to the top 12 if they would have completed what they needed to. So they would have to do their precautionary, their first couple of years where they can't make the playoffs. But Sac State in the first couple of years not going to make the playoffs. It's just about being in that Power 5 or Power 4 plus Pac-12, whatever we want to call it, scheme of things.
Yeah, and it's not the old Pac-12, like say on the
No,
Pac-12.
it's not, yeah.
And so you might as well take advantage of this opportunity if you can, I think.
What about Mountain West?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's take the Mountain West.
Pac-12, you're end up in the
Well,
Mountain
who's
West.
in the Mountain West? I don't know. They're all moving to another conference. I don't know.
Tulane,
We'll make our
Memphis.
See, that's a joke. Okay. The two words are mountain and west.
Right,
Where does Tulane fit into that? Where does Memphis? Where are the mountains in Memphis?
Should they just change the names of the conferences?
No. Maybe try to get a conference of like teams geographically, teams in the same area. That would be a good idea.
Was it the Big Ten that didn't have 10 teams? Hasn't had 10 teams for a long time.
Yeah, they have 12.
Now they have 31.
Once that line is crossed, we're done
the
with
Big
any
Ten.
of it.
They go from literally coast to coast now. Oregon's playing Maryland. Come on, that's just. It's super,
different.
It's just a super conference.
Different
That's
from
all.
what you grew up with, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just not what you grew up with.
It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's not for anything but just to make more money.
Well, that's for sure.
It's just a cash grab. That's all it is.
Oh, I like that little cash grab action. Yeah, there you go.
Cash grab.
That thing, yeah. Oregon's playing Rutgers.
Sounds like you knew that. You knew you had that?
Perhaps I did. How else do you describe Oregon and Rutgers in a game?
The funny thing is the schools that are leaving the Mountain West, they have to pay millions of dollars to do that.
Right.
And the Pac-12 has to pay millions of dollars for taking them. Where's that money come from? The Pac-12 has a lot of that money from the teams that left the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So it's just like you said, just shuffling around the dough.
Yeah. Turn one of those faucets off and see how much movement there is.
Yeah.
It's just all money.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good thing.
And we got the transfer portal now, so you got different players every year on different teams, and now this will just ramp it up if you move up.
Yeah, and of course, a big NFL weekend continuing after Buffalo over Miami last night. 49ers and the Vikings. A lot of people point out the Vikings haven't won in Minnesota since, 1992. Some point out that, hey, the Vikings beat the 49ers last year, so they're in trouble. But Jay says, because they lost there last year, they're going to win this week. Jay's not the only one who says that. Here's Dante Whitner on Up and Adams today.
I think this is a huge revenge game. Last year was very disappointing and embarrassing. Week 7, Brock Purdy and the 49ers didn't really have their best output, but I felt like Brock did a really good job of managing the game and the blitz that Brian Flores likes to employ on the field, and he got the ball to the right people. They just couldn't punch the ball in the end zone. Christian McCaffrey fumbled. You had 2 late Brock Purdy interceptions. But the downfall of that game was on Steve Wilkes, is when he wrote his destiny and caught a 0 blitz with 10 seconds left going into halftime. And that was the downfall for the 49ers. It was the defense. They were too static. They showed Kirk Cousins and that Vikings offense everything they wanted to see, and they were able to take advantage of matchups. So I think that this is a game where Kyle Shanahan is going to take it personal, because like last week, he beat up on Robert Saleh. He always beats up on his former coaches, whether it's Sean McVay in Los Angeles, whether it's Robert Saleh. So to lose to the Minnesota Vikings last year and McConnell, I think it lit a fire under Kyle Shanahan. You might see a blowout this week.
Wow.
Bingo. That's
blowout.
It was a zero blitz at
yeah.
the end of the half,
Yeah.
where you could tell right then Kyle Shanahan's like, dude, we don't do that.
That's bad when you're going into halftime with that.
Yeah.
That's the last
Steve
memory
Wilkes'
that we're
fate was
going
actually
in.
sealed
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, you might want to go to my office there, Steve. Come see me in my office.
Yeah. Also, Jay, and I know you say, like Dante Winter does, there's an emotional component, but just the things that happened to the 49ers, it was like an imperfect storm, if you will, of all these things that went wrong, and they still almost won the game, and I don't see that happening again. I don't see those things going wrong again.
That was the number 2 on the 3-game losing streak, right? It was Cleveland, Minnesota, and then Cincinnati. There you go. And so that was week 6, 7, 8. Yeah, because then they had a bye week 9, bounce back against Jacksonville in week 10. And so it was a perfect storm. I thought things happened for the 49ers. And remember, that was Debo, that was Trent, that was Kittle.
CMC was back in that game.
Yeah, he was. There were some guys who had missed that run. And then also coming off the law, Jake Moody, as you talked about, the game-winning, game-tying, however you want to call the situation, field goal when it came to the Browns. It was just tough, and I think they just caught him in a perfect storm. Your favorite quarterback, Kirk Cousins,
378. Yeah,
Kirk.
You can take shots, but I didn't expect Jay to come at me like that.
Last hour of the show, I authorized Jay.
Yeah, boy, thank you.
He's been deputized.
Kirk Cousins almost throwing 400 yards against the 49ers, which is almost unheard of. I just think the 49ers are going to be focused. We've heard last week, we had our 49ers mashup earlier this week. Niners noise, I think, is what we're going with, right? I like that. That's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
We heard a lot of people say, like, we're fixed, we're focused, we're ready to go. We are, we're, as Dante said, this is a revenge game for us, and we're not going to overlook the Vikings, especially with Sam Darnold playing. So I'm with Dante, man. I think they are.
You said it before he did.
Yeah, I think they're going to be focused on Minnesota. Now, if this was, I don't know, Buffalo, I'd be saying different. I know, but let's just say Tampa. They beat Tampa. Tampa's probably as close to Minnesota when it comes to talent and what they do. If this was Tampa again, I don't think they would be focused. But you don't want to lose twice in a row to the same team who really is average. So I think the 49ers looking at Minnesota like, we're going to go in there and take what we need to do.
I think Dante mentioned one of the keys to the game, in my humble opinion, about the blitzes. Brian Flores likes to blitz a lot. They did not blitz a lot last week against the Giants. They didn't need to. And Brock Purdy did do a good job of handling their blitzes when they played last week. So what they decide to do, how much they blitz him, how much he handles the blitz, I think that's going to be key. And then the other one is Aaron Jones, and whether the Vikings can get him going, or the 49ers were able to shut down. If they shut down the Vikings running game like they did with the Jets, and they force, Sam Darnold to throw the ball, I don't think he's terrible, but he can't beat the 49ers with his arm. So if the 49ers stop Aaron Jones, which as Jay pointed out, they did not do last year when they played Green Bay, but then they will win the game, and they might win it quite handily.
And I think that if they get this Christian McCaffrey situation worked out, say, okay, he's going on the IR. He's not going to be available. So you have to think about whether he's going to be available from week to week. Once they put that thing to rest, and we think he's going to be going on the IR, he isn't yet, but we think he will be. Once they get that settled so that the guys on the team aren't looking back over their shoulders, expecting him to come off the bench. Now we know what we have going forward for the next 4 weeks. I think that'll help. That'll be beneficial.
I wonder if the players know they have a clear idea or not. It sounds like now that
that's the thing you want to settle, I think.
I would think, yes. And I wonder if they had, what did you think of Jordan Mason last week saying, I found out Friday night, and then there was a big thing.
But he wasn't supposed to tell everybody they found out Friday night. Yeah. And that calls into question the injury designations and everything.
Right. So it sounds like maybe the 49ers have had a clearer idea than the rest, than they've been letting on for a while now.
And Jordan, I think, has learned to first of all, he learned he can play. And secondly, he's learned just don't say anything. When they ask you, just don't say, no, I didn't know, but I just.
Wait, they don't need Christian McCaffrey right now. I'm sorry. I know people, that's blasphemous.
No, in the short term, they don't. No, but I mean,
Jordan Mason's really good.
I know
he's not the receiver. He's not as versatile, but he will pound you.
Right, but they asked after the game. I don't remember what show it was about. Kind of the same thing. They had Jordan Mason. They don't really need him. And the guy they were talking to said, "Wait, you got to remember all the things that McCaffrey does. You can't just say this guy's had a great game, which he did, and that was fantastic. But McCaffrey, when healthy, offers you so many more things than anybody else in the league does. Really, not taking a shot at Mason at all. Because we're talking about backup quarterbacks. If you can get a backup quarterback that's as high quality as the backup running back you have, you'd be in great shape.
All right, coming up, Jay's arranged for us to catch up with the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire, a 9-time champion, 4 weight classes. He's taking on who's he fighting this weekend?
He's not fighting anyone. He's coming on to talk about Canelo Alvarez.
Alvarez versus Berlanga. So we'll talk to Nonito Donaire when we come right back. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The feet have a really big impact on how the rest of the body moves. The knees, the hips, the lower back especially. If the foot isn't properly aligned, all of these joints are going to function incorrectly. That results in a lot of muscle tension and chronic pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that the right arch supports can put the foot in its proper alignment. So all the joints up the rest of the body will be aligned properly as well. And when the body's aligned, we can reduce the risk of injury and chronic pain.
Come to the Good Feet store now for a free fitting and test walk.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley's coming to town.
Getting drunk on a plane.
For his only show in California this year, Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park for Country in the Park 2.
What was I thinking?
And he's bringing some friends. Parmalee.
I want to close your eyes for this.
Tyler Rich. Dasha.
Did
and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park. Get your tickets today before they're sold out at CITPFest.com.
Brought to you by the California Army National Guard and Red's Pizzeria and Tap House.
A new Honda? Nice. Well, it was like this. It was a super hot day, so we all stopped for some ice cream. When bam, the AC went out. My dad started sweating and was all, man, I stink. And my brother was like, I hate this car. And my mom was all, I'm dying in here. Then I said, it's time to call Stockton Honda. Then Dad was like, honey, you're right. I knew you were my favorite. And just like that, Stockton Honda to the rescue.
StocktonHonda.com.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello? Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey? Half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available.
We got Phantom in here today, and I hope you've had as much fun as we've had having you, Phantom.
Until that last remark, yes, that one hit close to home. I'm
Hey,
very
shouts out
hungry.
to Phantom, man.
Yeah.
For coming in. I had asked Mr. Gleason to bring you on in if that would make it possible.
First he was asking.
Yeah, then
he was
demanded.
begging.
Oh,
then
my
he
bad.
was demanding.
My bad.
Now it'll be telling we see about appearance number 2. Let's see how quick he is to say bring him back. See, that's exactly my point.
Well, this is part 3, right?
Yeah.
Because I missed the first one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so this is part 3. Third is a charm.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
All right. So far, so
Like
good.
the way he spun that. That's well done.
Yes. So we've got a boxing preview coming up in just a moment here. We think we'll preview the big fight this weekend, Phantom. And Jay is our boxing expert, resident boxing expert, but of course Alvarez Berlanga.
Okay.
I get a preview of that from Nonito Donaire.
I got to get you guys on this, man. Like, when you have big fights like this that normally happen 4 or 5 times a year, man, you know, like boxing is being left behind.
I believe Phantom used to be a big pay-per-view guy. Didn't you always get the big fights?
We got a couple. My father-in-law would love the boxing, so we saw. Tyson Douglas was the bigger than we saw.
Did you say my father-in-law loved the boxing?
He loved the boxing.
That's like, is it 1957 or something?
It was when boxing was huge. Yes, exactly.
People don't talk that.
He loved the boxing.
He loved the boxing.
We had to see which fighter triumphed.
Okay. All right. So we're looking forward to that. And then also we've got Phantom is going to be taking on Jay today in the Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz.
Oh,
so that'll be you might have an unfair advantage.
Or I'd forgotten everything, so I may have no advantage at all.
One more quick note here on Tua Tagovailoa. It was interesting. Antonio Pierce today, coach of the Raiders. Somebody said, you guys have never talked about the Raiders. Here's a Raider tidbit for you. The Raider coach today said, if it were up to me, if he asked me, I'd tell him to retire.
Right.
And it doesn't seem to be any reasonable way you can make the case that, no, I think he should keep playing. I'd love for him to keep playing, and he's probably going to want to keep playing. But it's irresponsible to, if anyone in his circle of influence were to suggest, I think you should keep at it, Tua.
Yeah, and I hope they don't keep asking the coach as they did after the game, which I guess I understand, updates. Do you know when he's going to be back? Anything like that. You cannot speculate on that. Again, I think that Tua may be the one person who thinks Tua should play again, and that's going to take a while. I mean, there has to be some downtime, so to speak, for him to, collect himself and everything before we even start thinking about that. And then for the Dolphins, I mean, I know it's kind of callous to say, but they got 15 games left to go, and they may not have a quarterback except for our guy Skylar Johnson-Thompson.
Yeah,
who was not impressive in his relief role last night.
So you don't like the notion that was put forth on X/Twitter that they should go after Trey Lance. You're not a Trey Lance guy.
No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I mean, I think they should consider all possibilities. As we talked about today, the quarterback market is a little thin in the NFL. So, I mean, you got to think about anybody you can, but there's nothing that is he has done that made me think that, hey, he's a guy who can come in and do something.
There's I would say a pretty high percentage of starters right now about whom there are serious questions.
Yeah.
So,
and we're in the second week
going out and finding a backup, a quality backup. And in some ways it's probably harder right now than ever. The teams that have the quality backups know, they look around and go, wow, there's not a lot of these guys. They're not in a hurry to get rid of them.
Are you telling me that you don't think there's anybody who's had a thought about maybe if I dial up TB12, maybe run it by him to see if he wants to come out of them? You don't think so?
Until you brought it up today, I hadn't even thought of it.
Really?
Not a thing.
Me too. I hadn't thought about it.
Yeah, because it's over. It's done.
It's 50 almost.
He's 40. We looked today, 47.
47.
He can do that. Testaverde was like 70 when he was still playing. So, I mean.
But you're asking for a high level Tom Brady, right?
I'm asking for, and we talked to Jay, I'm talking about above average backup quarterback. And we went through the backup quarterbacks, and I think we all agreed that he would be above average.
Probably would, but I don't see why he would do it. At the team, they'd be assuming a great deal of risk because, as I just said, there's no camp. So even if you call Tom Brady right now and he said, I might want to do that.
That's all I'm saying.
You in shape?
That's all I'm saying. No, he's in shape. He's not in football shape. Yeah.
And then how many games would you sacrifice just waiting for him to get in shape?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're sacrificing him because you're going to lose him anyway.
Not if I go out and find somebody. I know I have a line on somebody that I think can give me more than I would get from not having Tom Brady for Well, 3 weeks at least, right?
As you pointed out earlier.
Why are we even talking about Tom Brady? We're not talking about Tom Brady.
You pointed out earlier about the coaches who've evaluated Trey Lance, even though he hasn't been in a game, and they've evaluated him. I think the coaches have also taken a look at Skylar Johnson-Thompson. Maybe they have seen more in practice.
Say they like him.
Than
There's a reason why he's there.
Maybe they'd be fine with him. Maybe they're like, well, no, we've seen this guy in practice all the time. He's better than he should. Last night we kind of played it close to the vest. We were getting beat anyway. We didn't want to try anything. So maybe they've seen enough of him in practice. They said, no, we're okay to go on. Now they'll have to get somebody to back him up, obviously, but maybe they've seen enough that they actually want to stay with him.
You guys both played football. You guys both love football. How bad is what happened last night for the league in terms of, again, they've been trying to promote that the game is safe and it's safer than ever and everyone should play. How bad is what happened last night for the league from that standpoint?
It's probably safer than ever, but that stuff can still happen.
Absolutely.
I think the thing that is most detrimental to the league isn't what happened last night. It's what's still to happen, is how that gets resolved as far as Tua is concerned. People see that, and we've talked about it earlier. They've seen all these concussions. It's not just, something they've heard about. They saw him last year get the concussions, and they've seen him do this. So what happens after this? Because I think, as we said, everybody thinks he should quit. And it's not quitting, it's retiring because of injury.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it reflects badly on the league that he got a concussion last night, because he was cleared to play and he wanted to play. He played all last year, and didn't have a problem. But now what happens after this, that could reflect badly on the league. I think if he somehow returns, I don't think people will be okay with that.
I think, Jay, it counters the league's notion, which is kind of ridiculous, but that, play football. Football is a great game and everyone should play and it's safer than ever. Football is a dangerous game and it's a fun game. I remember talking to Eric Davis once, and we were saying, that was when all the concussion lawsuits were flying around. And he was saying, football's fun. Football's always going to be around because it's really fun, but it is not a game for everybody. And it's very dangerous.
Right.
And that's part of football, is the concussions. And that's just the reality of it. So, I think it is one of the reasons why we're seeing fewer and fewer parents let their kids play.
Yeah, I would say the visual of last night, on top of the Hamlin visual, on top of we've seen Tua, on top of a couple of other different situations we've seen. The visual, to me, because we live in a visual world, social network,
we're visual animals.
Yes, absolutely. I'd rather you draw it than write it, right? Most people are kind of that conversation. I mean, even my mom told me that yesterday. I'm like, Mom, you're 60-something years old. And she said that. But I think the visual makes it a little worse. The fact of Tua actually going through some symptoms of what happened to him right there.
Stuff is like,
yes,
whoa,
like that is that's enough to make you think twice about having a child play at the age of 7 Pop Warner, and Pee Wees and Mighty Mites and all these smaller divisions in Pop Warner. So I'm not sure, Whitey. I think it's all, the money is too valuable. It's always going to move on, but I definitely think the visual is going to play a part with some people, and you never know.
And I think it's tough for the NFL, in my opinion, to take the moral high ground in anything as far as safeness is concerned when they add an extra game to the schedule.
Absolutely.
And from everything that we hear, they're going to start adding another extra game.
Yeah, but
so
you can't.
But you can't. But that invalidates whatever you say. Okay, now we're playing in sumo suits and we've got bubble helmets on. That's fine, but you added a game. And that just puts all the people that really play into harm's way for another 60 minutes. And you're going to add it. So you can't, there's nothing they can do really that would make me change that opinion.
The scariest thing about the whole thing is that we don't know what damage has already been done to Tua, because they put him through the concussion protocol and then label him, all right, he's good to go. And you have no idea if he's okay.
Right.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
And
which is why I think this is going to take a while.
Yeah. He may not know, and hopefully there's no damage, but whatever happened, it may not really be a problem for him for years down the road. That's the scariest thing about it. And that's why repeated concussions, bro, you probably should stop doing it.
That's the thing. It's like you can't put a number and say, once you've had 5 concussions, you have to retire.
Right.
I wish you could.
Right.
But it's different for every concussion. Concussions are different. The people are different. Right. So I would try to negotiate. I would start at 5 and say, 5 concussions, you have to retire. That's the rule.
I used to work at the station in the Bay Area where Bill Romanowski was one of the analysts. He'd come on all the time. And Romo would say that And that was when we were first starting to hear about the league because of, again, all the lawsuits. They were becoming more and more conscious of this. He said, if I was still playing, then when I had the baseline test, he said I would fail it so that if I got a concussion, they wouldn't be able to tell I had a concussion, and then I could still play.
Yeah.
Wow. Some would say diabolical genius.
Man, yeah. But that's scary. You know, Romo's the type of guy. He's what we consider a lunch pill guy. You know, he's a hard hat. I'm coming out to play. I'm in your face. You know, high intensity. You know, the opportune times that I've always had to work with Romo and have him on interviews and stuff like that. He's that type of guy.
Yeah.
So that's scary because Romo was the type of person I just want to play. I don't care what it takes.
Right.
Vitamins, whatever I have to do.
I don't care.
I'm playing.
Yeah.
That's scary, man. And it's one of those questions that I think Tua, his family, the Dolphins, and hopefully the bigger question is the NFL. How do you protect someone against themselves? Like, we're getting to that point with Tua when you have 2 or 3 visually bad concussions that everyone in the world has the availability to see. This isn't something where he got, then he went to the blue tent or the sideline, went into the locker room. Like, no, these are bad visual things that are happening. So I think you have to we're starting to venture into that, realm where we need to start to say, Tua, I'm not sure if you can even play anymore.
Right. And we come from a time when guys would get concussions and they didn't want anybody to know.
No.
I remember talking to a guy that played with the 49ers. He was a lineman. So he got bomb. And this was before they were conscious of the concussion protocol. And he has done some TV, and he told me that, he's always getting letters about being involved in this lawsuit or that. He said he had to develop strategies like putting keys around his house in certain places because he said sometimes I'd come home, I don't know where my keys are. I have no idea. He said sometimes it would happen on the air. He would just like blank out.
Right.
And he had to develop strategies. That's from they used to play when it's like, you got a concussion, you got to get back out there.
Right.
So
and
at
your
least
helmet
now we're
was
more
pencil thin.
Yeah, aware of it. So the next step is guys like Tua, unfortunately, they've got to be smart enough to say, all right, I can't play anymore.
Yeah, because if the league is going to say we've made all these improvements, all these, we've jumped ahead, and that's a primary case right there. Okay, you have all this information, you have all these things in place. This is the case that's happening right now, so go ahead and make a decision.
Yeah, terrifying. Won't be an easy decision for him, but it should be. Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz, Phantom against Jay.
Oh, boy.
Coming up next. You confident, Phantom?
No.
Next, Sactown Sports.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. With the kids back in school, now is the perfect time to go buy a new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV. I have one and I love it. And I'm not the only one in my family that loves it. My 12-year-old daughter loves it. In fact, just the other day when I was about to drop her off to school, she said, "Dad, are we taking the nice car out?" And I said, "Yeah, honey, we're taking the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV." She was so excited to ride in it, and she was so excited to show it off to her friends. She loves the fact that it has seat cooling, seat massaging, and oh yeah, extra room in the back seat for all of her friends. If you don't believe me, just see for yourself. Go test drive one now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. You'll see how the car drives, the comfort it has, and the speed it has on the open road. Just head on down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton or online anytime at mbofstockton.com.
Hello?
Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey, half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
I've always believed that golf is more than just a game. It embodies integrity, commitment, and a sense of style. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa, and I'd like to tell you a bit about Naturewood Home Furnishings, a business that shares these same values. With the Procore Championship Professional Golf Tournament happening at the stunning Silverado Resort in Napa, I couldn't help but notice the parallels. Just like the game of golf, Naturewood has built its reputation on integrity, commitment, and timeless style. Looking to bring a unique style into your home? Naturewood offers custom certified designers who can help you craft the perfect look tailored just for you. And while you're enjoying the elegance of the tournament this week, along with Napa's world-class wine and food, be sure to visit Naturewood Home Furnishings. You'll discover pieces with the same sophistication and quality as the game itself. Who knows? You might even find an heirloom that will be passed down for generations. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Just look for the water wheel.
We head to the Silverado Resort up in Napa, California, and we head to the Procore Championship. Right now, Pat Kazire leads all golfers, shooting a 13 under right now in the clubhouse. His day is all done, all through. He shot a 66 yesterday and followed that up with a 65. David Lipsky is in second spot right now with the 12 under. He has finally got through all 18 today, shot a 67. J.J. Spahn and Matt Kuchar are tied for third with the 10 under. Right now, Matt is still on the course at the 18. Wrapping it up, coming up in fifth is Patrick Fishburne, as he has just jumped into the fifth spot. He is still on the course right now with a 9 under. He is on the 15th hole. That is your Procore tournament coverage, and it's brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Now more of the Drive Guys.
I didn't ask to be thrown in this.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
This is Phantom Selection on a Flashback Friday. There's a Vallejo connection?
Yeah, Sylvester Stewart, Sly, and the family son went to Vallejo Junior College.
I don't even think Jay knew that.
I did not.
No.
Lace on my tennis shoes. Giving me some game.
There you go. Yeah, that the rumor is that he started his first band there, but I don't have corroboration on that. I was a little younger at the time.
Like to take credit for that.
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
Thing, right?
You bet. Yeah. Well, Sacramento takes credit for Tom Hanks. I think he went to Sac State for like 2 semesters or something. So we can do that. We'll take Sly and the Family Stone. That's a good one. That's a feather in the cap right there.
I thought you might go different strokes. Different
no, Jay and
folks.
We agreed that this has a little more oomph to it. Yeah.
All right, it's time for Whitey's Wayback Machine quiz for September the 13th, and they're coming after you again, Phantom. A lot of it's from the same guy, Campio. Phantom has the advantage since he helped Moses carry one of the tablets.
Yeah, I'm the guy who dropped the other one, so we'd had a lot more if it wasn't for me.
Everything in the quiz, Phantom, is it's based on things that happen on this date, or it's related to things that happened on this date.
Okay.
And you don't have to worry. It's like you'll get your chance. It's not like you have to beat Jay to the buzzer or anything like that. Let's see here. So here are the years we have for September the 13th. You guys get to pick your year. 1883, 1969, 1982. We also have 1986, 1987, and 1999. And don't worry if you don't remember those. I'll help you out with that. I know you don't have it written down. Jay you're a reigning champion, right?
Did I sneak it out yesterday? No, Drapes got me.
Won.
Yeah, he got me.
So that means you
snuck it out.
Get to go first if you want here. 1883, 1969, 1982, 1986, 1987, 1999. Where do you want to start, Phantom?
Minnie Minoso.
I'm tempted to go with my birth
right.
year.
He lost on a Minnie Minoso question.
Oh. 1969.
1969. Okay, now this is it's a closest to, so I'm going to give you a fact.
Okay.
You guys are trying to guess a number. It's sometimes beneficial to let him go first, but that's your option. Do you want Jay to go first?
No, I'll go first.
Okay. 1969. Bobby Bonds, on this date, joins baseball's 30-30 club.
Okay.
The question is, how many times, and it's just the closest to, how many times combined would Bobby and Barry Bonds homer 30 times and steal 30 bases in a season? Sure you want to go first?
No, I already said I would.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
I like where you're going. Unlike Drapes, he would have spun it 18 ways.
I'll say 5.
5. Jay, what do you say? You want me to read it again?
Yes, please.
Bobby Bonds joins baseball's 30-30 club this date, 1969. How many times combined would Bobby and Barry Bonds homer 30 times and steal 30 bases in a season?
I didn't hear that 30 bases on the back end. I'm glad you said
So
that.
it's 30-30 seasons for Barry and Bobby. Take all their 30-30s, combine them. Phantom says 5.
Man, that's a good spot there, Phantom. I'm gonna say 4.
4. Actually, they each have 5.
Oh.
The total is 10.
Wow.
They share the record. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a total of
I didn't
10.
think Bobby had that many.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did. So, Phantom.
Phantom jumps in front.
Yeah, Phantom gets the point. Well done, Phantom. Yeah. All right. And Jay? We've got 83. That's 1883, 1982, 1986, 1987, 1999.
I might be going into the range that it may Phantom might have an advantage. I'm going 1883.
1883.
My birth year.
Cleveland's Hugh Daly throws a no-hitter against Philadelphia.
What Cleveland? Spiders? What Cleveland?
I
are we
don't
talking
know.
about?
I looked that up. It's a great question.
Yeah.
Cleveland's Hugh Daly throws a no-hitter against Philadelphia. Even though, Jay, he only has one what? One eye, one arm, or one leg?
One arm.
That's exactly right. One arm Hugh Daly was his nickname.
Well, that gave it away then.
I didn't tell that.
Well done, Jay.
He didn't
Man.
hesitate. Did you know that, or was that a...
I've seen that before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go with one eye. Get a little patch,
patch
there,
with
huh?
Uh-huh.
the slick Rick.
Yeah.
I'm having trouble seeing the signs.
Hope my catcher doesn't tell you what's coming.
All right, it's 1-1, Phantom. Where do you want to go? 1982, 1986, 1987, 1999.
1987.
1987. Steve DeBerg throws a Tampa Bay record 5 touchdown passes in one game.
Really?
Your question, who holds the Tampa Bay record for most career touchdown passes with 121? Jameis Winston, Tom Brady, Vinny Testaverde. We've talked about all of them today. Let me read it again?
No, I don't want you to read it again. I want you to tell me the answer. I know which guy I want to say. I'm gonna say.
Don't get any points for knowing
well,
which guy.
because I know
you
what
want
Jay's
to
going to
say.
go, and if he's right and I'm wrong, he's really going to hold it over me. So I've got to go with Vinny Testaverde.
That's not correct.
Ooh.
Jay, Steve DeBerg throws a Tampa Bay record 5 touchdown passes in one game this date, 87. Who holds the Tampa Bay record for most career touchdown passes with 121? Jameis Winston, Tom Brady.
How could Tom Brady can? I'm going Jameis Winston.
Tom Brady is number 2. Jameis Winston is number 1.
Yeah, I knew
like
it.
Tom didn't play that. I would have went to Vinny Testaverde too. That was my first pick.
All right. Jay's got the 2-1 lead, and I think you're up, Jay.
Yes, sir.
1982, 1986, 1999.
1999.
John Elway's number 7 is retired by the Broncos this date, 1999. Who is the only player whose number was retired by 2 different NFL teams? Eric Dickerson, Fran Tarkenton, Reggie White.
Reggie White.
He's got it. He's on fire today.
He's hot.
Yeah. You're
Darn
still
it.
in this thing, though, Phantom.
Of course I
You
am.
could tie it up and force overtime, but you're going to need the next
I
2.
need this one.
Yeah.
82 and 86?
That's correct.
82.
1982.
Yes.
Phantom,
What?
how are you?
Man, not so good right now. I'm buried under an
He's
avalanche
playing-
of
he's very good
Jay.
at this game, but today he's like, oh, I know that.
He just threw
You one-arm daily.
Yeah, that one really hurt me.
What pitcher throws a shutout and homers in the same game for the 4th time, becoming the only pitcher to do it in 3 different decades?
What
Phantom?
year is this? 82?
1982. He throws a shutout, homers in the same game for the 4th time,
Okay.
becoming the only pitcher to do it in 3 different decades.
Okay.
Tom Seaver, Don Sutton, Steve Carlton. I remind you, Phantom, you need this one.
3 different decades.
Yes.
60s,
Pitcher throws a
70s,
shutout homers in the
80s,
same game for the 4th time,
60s.
becoming the only pitcher to do it in 3 different decades.
I'm going to go against what I thought and say Tom Seaver.
Tom Seaver is not correct. It was Steve Carlton.
Wow.
And that's going to give Jay the victory.
Is that where you were
thought
going?
myself.
Yeah.
You were
I
going
wanted to
Steve
go
Carlton? Ah.
Yeah. Jay, well done, sir.
Same, sir.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And
Good game.
First time I told him
yeah,
what pitches
absolutely.
were coming there for a while.
Let me say this before we go off, man. It's been a pleasure, Phantom. This is my first time, I feel like, ever meeting you. I know I've met you before, but as a young lad. So as an adult, Jay. I appreciate your time, man. And you and Mr. Gleason have legendary status around here in Sacramento. And sometimes we don't do a good job of giving people flowers until they're not with us. So with that being said, salute to you, man.
Thank you, Jay. I think he got a little crazy there. During the end, he got a little crazy there. Yeah, that was nice, Jay.
Thanks, Jay, for keeping us on
pleasure.
track. Thank you, Phantom. Thank you for listening. Stick around. Infinity Sports Radio next. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday, Sactown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets.